Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and welcome to Typewriter Club Live. Yes, we are here. Yeah. All right. Two people joining us already. Excellent. And yeah, I believe Ovi was the first one in. How are you, Ovi?
Hello, Gregory. Uh, yeah, I was the first here. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah. So is there anything new in your world?
Yeah, well, uh, I received yesterday a gift from my friends, and I want to show you. It sent me this.
Oh,
Well, I don't know if you guess what typewriter is, but it's an Olympia Splendid 33,
oh, yeah.
the one with the red buttons, or yeah, dark red.
Nice. Those,
The only problem is that the keys are stuck,
oh, okay.
and I should clean it and make it
Yeah,
work again.
yeah.
But beside that, everything looks great and it's not dirty on the inside.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, if you get that working, it's going to be a good typewriter. I love the Splendids and the SF Deluxe. They're all that sort of same size, so very good
Yeah,
typewriters. And I believe Joe Van Cleve has one of those as well.
yeah, I have to blame Joe for this because uh, the the princess and the splendid 33 are because of him. Like, I wanted
uh,
them because of him, because of Joe.
yeah.
And today I was in the flea market in the near district, and I found a brother, I don't know what number, but uh, an orange color, but it's in my car and I forgot to bring it in my room.
Oh, next
But
time.
it was the only typewriter in the flea market, and I just couldn't let it there.
Yeah, yeah. I was typing the chat. I missed what typewriter it was.
It was the brother, no, not a privilege 33 something.
Ah, okay. Nice, nice. Now, is it you said you got it at the flea market, right? Or the market?
Yeah, the flea market near my in the next district, in the near district, my district.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it common to find typewriters there, or is it unusual?
yeah, it's common. It's a common
Okay.
thing, and I was amazed to see a few weeks ago in the flea market near my village, there were like 8 typewriters. Of course, the
Wow.
prices were kind of huge, but I
Yeah.
noticed yesterday, because I went there yesterday, the prices were a little bit lower than the first time. And I'm hoping the next time will be even lower.
Yes, yes. Excellent, excellent. I guess I can take you off the big screen. Sorry to
Yeah,
keep you focused like that, but
no problem, Gregory.
yeah. I was sleeping on the job there.
No problem.
Well, it sounds like you had a good a couple of weeks there in the typewriters. Sounds
Yeah.
like you picked up a couple good ones. Now, did you have a plan of how you're gonna fix the stuck keys on the Splendid 33?
Yeah. Um, I tried I tried fixing some stuck keys on another typewriter, and I noticed that using a little bit of alcohol, and then I think Daniel is the one who gave me the solution few weeks ago about unstucking some keys. So it
Okay.
worked like a charm, and I don't know if I told you last time, but I managed to change the interior insulation of my Hermes Media 3.
Oh, excellent.
and it was a real adventure. But I'm so happy that now it's not thinking anymore.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Very good. You're getting pretty handy.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah. Well, you're doing better than me because I mean, I've done a few little things, but I give up way too easily.
I tend to give up too easily also, but seeing so many people giving so many great advices and having so many YouTube videos and comments, and just because, and also because this whole community is so helpful, I just borrow some courage and tried. Of course, I always forgot to take a picture or take a video clip of what I took out, and then it's like doing a puzzle. But eventually, I didn't broke anything, and everything it's there.
Excellent. Excellent.
The tricky part was when I disassembled the Hermes handle, the handle, and I didn't know how to assemble it again. But then I just continued and tried and error, and eventually it worked.
Excellent.
I'm thinking to try and replace the zipper of a letter 32 case. I know it's a very common thing to have a broken zipper. Um, I I think I will borrow the technique from some Romanian, I don't know how you call the people who work with leather,
Oh
and they
yeah.
do gloves and wallets and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
saw some of their techniques, and I will just try and replace this zipper, and I will let you know if I
Yeah,
succeed.
definitely. Definitely. Just remember it needs to be nice and strong because you don't want that typewriter falling out.
Yeah, it will
Uh,
need, I think, a special thread there,
yeah.
and also some special needles, because I saw this guy who is using two needles, and he's doing the stitching manually. He's not using a machine. So with patience, I think it can be done. I think.
Excellent. Excellent. I have faith in you.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, and also the
Uh,
holes are already there, the leather. You can just
yeah, exactly,
so
exactly, Ted.
you don't have to do the hard part, which is punching the holes.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
that's a good point. Definitely. So our topic for today is actually what is your least favorite typewriter feature? Do you have a least favorite typewriter feature? And just as an example, I'll give one of mine, which is tabs. I never ever use tabs. So to me, it's kind of a wasted feature. I think if you're just doing letter writing, uh, you don't really need it. Um, and I usually write in, well, it depends. If I'm writing something shorter, I'll write in block paragraphs. So there's no indent, and then I just double space between paragraphs. But if I'm trying to conserve space, I'll do just three spaces at the beginning of the paragraph and then single space between paragraphs. So is there a feature of typewriters that you either don't use or don't like or think could be better or something like that?
You know, I also hated tabs because I didn't know how to work with them.
Ah,
And because in my language, we use the indentation, and we don't use the empty rows between the paragraph. I was always using spaces, and at some point, I noticed that tabs may come in handy with the indentation. But a feature I don't like, that's an interesting question. I think maybe the lack of some features, it's something that troubles me. Um, for instance, when the exclamation mark is not present and you have to compose it from the dot and the apostrophe, and hmm, and also when in a layout the punctuation is it's splattered, mostly in the adapted Romanian layout. It's not
Uh,
it's not something you will find on any typewriter, and it's it's pretty hard to get used with the different layout with on many typewriters.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could definitely see how that would be an issue. Um, when you're multilingual and living in a country other than the US, where you probably have access to a broader range of keyboard layouts than we would say here in the US, That's my guess anyway. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I think you're so lucky that you can type on almost any typewriter layout.
yeah, yeah.
Of
Very
course,
cool.
we could also use the almost any layout, but then I would have to manually add the accents and the
Oh yeah,
diacritics. But
yeah.
it's not looking so neat like when it's everything typewritten.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I don't know if you have any experience with thermal typewriters.
No,
I'm a huge fan of thermal typewriters.
I
One
know.
of the one of the benefits of them is they have all kinds of crazy international characters, but I'm curious if they have anything that would, in fact, I'm willing to bet they wouldn't have something specific to Romania. But I would be curious to know if they at least have some of the maybe accent marks or something that you would use. Um, yeah, because basically there's essentially two keyboards on a thermal typewriter. So you have it on keyboard one and access certain features, and then you can switch to the second keyboard and access other characters. So
Uh,
that's
you know,
is a major benefit of the thermal typewriters.
Gregory, most of the Romanian layout could be composed by usual characters beside one character. But
Ah,
yeah, it would be interesting. I started to look for thermal typewriters also because of you and Joe, and I will let you know when I find one. I think Daniel wants to say something.
yes. You had a comment, Daniel?
Yes, I just want to say that based on the research on the typewriter database, I believe that if a typewriter would have been sold in Romania or in a country neighboring Romania, that the layout would be different than what is offered normally in the US with the two keyboards. So the first keyboard would be more regionally adapted. And the Japanese were great at producing whatever the market they were selling into required. And mostly those thermal typewriters were Japanese made. So I wouldn't be surprised, Ovi, that once you start looking and finding some of those, that you will find the proper keyboard. Most recently, I found and was what is it, Brother EP20 here in Ottawa that was for sale, and it had the Swiss layout as the basic, layout number one of that EP20, and the rest of the EP20 that I had seen in the US and Canada had the QWERTY English as number one. So there you go. So that typewriter came to Canada with somebody, and so I'm saying to Ovi, if you find something in Romania, in all likelihood it will have the right keyboard for you. That's just the what I would expect of even those thermal typewriters in that market. But we'll see if you might find that there are none in Romania for whatever reason. I would be surprised though, but you might find some in our neighboring countries, and they might have been multilingual with multiple keyboard diacritics. So,
Yes, yes.
I
Excellent. Thank you
think
for
I will
that, Daniel.
find, I mean, maybe I will find one day because I've already found some electronic typewriters with daisy wheels with Romanian layout. So it's possible I would find a thermal one also.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, because I love them.
Yeah.
So I think they're like magic. Yeah. Very cool. Was there anything else new with you, Ovi?
No, school
No?
started. I have a
Okay.
new generation of pupils and they are cute.
Oh.
Um, Maybe I can share you a funny story with
Yeah, definitely.
on the second day of the school, one little girl wouldn't enter the classroom and she was upset, sitting in the door and looking to the other classroom where my colleague, my female colleague, was there. And I asked her what's wrong, and she said, "Well, I wanted a female teacher, and my mother wanted you."
Oh.
And I just came with an idea and I told her in an optimistic tone, well, you're even luckier that those kids because you have two teachers, two female teachers, the one who will teach you English and the one who will teach you some other subjects. So I think you're even luckier. And she was happy and entered the classroom.
Oh. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
Very
yeah,
good.
that's a funny story that
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. I do want to say hello to Ronald from Sweden on YouTube. Thank you for watching us. And also Matt Dow, watching from London, England. So as always, we are very international here. And we have Romania representing, we have Canada representing, Arizona. And I forget where Brian Powers is from, but
Vast, powerful
excellent.
country of Arizona.
Yes, yes. uh, well, Ted, hello. Are you as excited as I am about the type-in?
I am. It's coming up.
Very cool. Yeah. Oh,
We're going to
I'm-
be seeing you, I guess.
yes, yes. And I hope to be live streaming. So Brian says that they do typically play music kind of low in that room, but we can ask them to turn it off, so it should be safe
They're
for
pretty
live streaming.
accommodating. They have been. We've done a lot of
Okay,
things there, so it's just
excellent,
been a
excellent.
while. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Joe doesn't want, copyrighted music in his videos either, although in a pre-recorded video it'd be easier to, take it out of the video essentially, but
yeah.
can't do that live.
Nope,
Right.
that's true.
Right. So
It-
last night,
oh yes.
Brian Good was on the call last night, and he was pretty pumped up about the type-in next week, and there was a lot of interest in the people and wishing him and everybody else like a great type-in. It sounded he was yeah, he was like in a very good spirit and
Good.
looking
Excellent.
forward to it and talking about who's gonna come, like talked about you and Ted and Joe and then so on and so forth. So it was, yeah, very, very, very good to hear.
Excellent, excellent.
Gonna be an all-star event.
Yeah. I have to say I'm a little nervous because, I'm meeting the two bigwigs of the typewriter community.
Oh,
Richard Polt being the third one, but he's been on here a few times, but he's not a regular.
oh, you know, they're only distant because you haven't been there. So
Yeah, yep.
it's like everybody else. We're pretty boring.
uh, yes, but I will warn you that uh, when I've met people that have seen me online in person, usually their comment is, "Oh, I thought you would be taller."
Oh, you already told me that you were short.
Okay, yes,
You
I'm
did the
I'm
whole
short.
thing where Gregory short is short, and yeah,
Yes, I'm
we
five
covered that
six.
base.
Well, 5'6.5", 5'7" if I get on my tippy toes.
You're taller than my wife, so
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be very cool. I'm bringing some Type Pal swag, and
excellent.
yeah, I'm just debating what typewriter to bring. I don't know.
Bring a durable one.
I know. Yeah, I'm actually toying with the idea. I'd probably be the only one. I'm toying with the idea of bringing my Daisy wheel and plugging it into my power station. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get booed out of the room.
Well, you do what you want.
Yeah.
We love you
But
for who you are.
yeah, there are some other typewriters that I could potentially bring that are a little more sturdy and I don't care about as much. But my Hermes rockets will not be coming.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see.
What about your
Yeah.
Royal, your little dart thing? Companion, that's
Huh.
it.
Well, the problem with that one is the margin release is a little wonky. If you use the margin release, it works the one time and then it gets stuck in the released position. So then you
Mhm.
have to get in there with a pen or screwdriver or something and push it back into place. Um, yeah. So I don't know. It'd be a little challenging to leave that out for the public.
Yeah,
So
that's true. You don't want to. You
yeah,
don't want to put people in position of thinking that they broke your machine.
yeah, exactly.
That's never good for the public image.
Yeah, yeah. There's a number of other typewriters, manual typewriters I could bring though. So
Yep. If you
yeah,
had a brother, you could have brought that.
I know. Maybe I should borrow it from my niece. And
There you go. You do that.
yeah. Well, what's new with you, Ted?
Well, I've been working out these Selectric 3D printed type balls, type elements.
Ah, yes.
Have new typefaces. I got Vogue and, believe it or not, Papyrus, the much hated digital font that they use
Yeah.
in Rockstar. Apparently, he mapped it out to this Selectric ball, and it actually looks really good.
Oh,
I
okay.
like it. It's a nice dark print.
Yeah.
Kind of looks a little bit like handwriting, and
Yeah.
I've kind of fallen in love with it. So
Yeah.
I have Vogue, Royal Vogue.
Excellent.
You can see the
Yeah. I zoomed in on you.
explosions. All right, there we go.
Exclusions.
See. Anyway, yeah,
Now,
so it's kind of gray plastic, and I use a
yeah.
Type 1 clip to hold it on,
Oh, yes.
nice and sturdy. But there's not many of those left
Oh, yeah.
in the world. You kind of have to scrap a Type 1 or first generation Selectric ball to get those. So,
Oh,
but they work really well
yeah.
for clipping a topless ball onto your Selectric.
Yeah.
Ted,
Poser.
do you think that there's a lot of those springs somewhere in Dwayne's drawers or other Selectric shops drawers?
If someone had the presence of mind to think of, like, anytime they've got a broken first generation ball that they pop the top off of and save that spring, then yeah, but I mean, it's not like they were replacement parts. They were built into the type elements.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
generally, like, a dealer wouldn't repair a type element.
Now, what's the diameter of the wire, and could we hand make some with
If someone could
jeweler's
form,
pliers?
yeah, if someone could form spring steel, they could be made, but I don't know who would do it. I could make measurements if you were.
I
Are
if I
you
had
equipped to?
one,
Are you
yeah,
equipped to
if I
deal with
had one,
spring steel?
it it's the same thing as the silencer spring on my console that I made. So
Hmm.
uh, spring steel is piano wire or
Okay.
music wire, and this doesn't look like a very thick diameter.
No.
So jewelers pliers, with round noses, are quite easy, and the difficulty is always in making it the right size and so on and so forth. But if we have a real one, if I have a real one in front of me, I can copy it, and it's a bit fiddly, but what I say is it's you need to bend, then test, then bend, then test until you got it right. But I've been looking for one of those old type balls locally, and I haven't yet been successful. But I know they are around. I know they are around. It's just a question of time for me to get my hands on one of
I
those.
bought a Selectric one just for the old type ball that was on there. And I paid, I think, $20 for the Selectric one. It didn't work. And I gave it to Darwin Raymond, my repair person, the
Yeah.
machine, but I kept the type element. So, sometimes if you look at your local OfferUp or your Facebook Marketplace, you can see if there's a type ball, and you can ask them to send you a picture of the type ball. And if they're only asking a few dollars, it would be worth it just to get the type element.
Oh, I'm on those sites all the time. Suzanne.
One
And
millimeter,
Ted,
by
what's
the
the
way.
reading?
1 millimeter.
1 millimeter,
Hmm.
40,000s. Okay.
Interesting.
So I'll write that down.
Yeah, Ted had a good experience with his type elements.
Hmm. I still
I
am. They're working
was
great.
not so fortunate.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what happened?
Well, apparently there was a problem with this first group of type elements that when you use them on the Selectric one, the little post on the Selectric one is actually a slightly different diameter than on the Selectric 2s and 3s. And so it caused my tilt or rotate ribbon, I don't know which one because I don't know the difference, to slip off the pulley. But I was really lucky because I want to say that the guy that is making these is so kind and responsive that right away he contacted me when he heard that it made my typewriter not work. And he said, Susan, send me some pictures of what's going on with your Selectric, and I'll try and figure out what's wrong with it. And then he made me a video, which he now has posted online, of how you can fix it. And he helped me to fix it, and I fixed it myself.
Yep.
I was so excited that I fixed it.
Yeah.
Because, for me, he said I was holding my breath. I saw you were typing me an answer that after you said you were going to try and fix it, and I was holding my breath, and you did it. I said, I know, I couldn't believe it either.
Oh,
I
So
believe.
it works, and I'm not dismayed. He's going to send me a new one when he gets those up and going.
Mhm.
And I'm still very excited about this new technology because I think people will be very much more excited about Selectrics if they can get more interesting typefaces. Because imagine all the typefaces that could actually be done if you just knew how to do the type ball. So I'm really excited.
Excellent.
And apparently,
excellent.
I've been following the thread that he's had in the golf ball group when where he was talking about designing this, and apparently there's someone on that group who took the design file that he had made, and basically you can just set whatever font you want in it, and it'll map that font to the type ball. And she made her
Wow.
handwriting on a type ball.
Oh, wow.
So she had apparently made her own handwriting into a TTF font before, and then she transferred it to that ball and made her own 3D printed her own ball. And so apparently that works. So
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
It is not that hard. I mean, he's done so much of the work that you know, getting it to different fonts will not be much of a problem at all, I think.
Wow. Huh.
From what I'm reading. So yeah, that's a really exciting project. You know, I guess all of us saw that thread in the Facebook group, and we all ordered at the same time. So we all got that first batch of balls. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. We all got it in the same week. I think he sold out the first day. But yeah, it's a very exciting project. You're going to be hearing more about it, I'm sure. And yeah, it's fun. It's super. I mean, it's so weird having Vogue on a type ball. It just really changes the way you think about, you know, especially if you're like a letter writer and you want special fonts for you know, your letters. But you don't want to drop $5,000 on a Vogue Model P.
No.
I can't do that. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll buy a Vogue type ball for $10 and type my letters with that. That's perfectly fine for me, and it's perfectly fine for, you know, thousands of people. And
It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind that somebody could scan their own handwriting and make their own file and plug that into the program or the file for the type ball and then print their own. That just blows my mind. Like the possibilities are limitless.
It's crazy. It's super crazy. It's very exciting. So yeah, it's that I've been very excited about that all week, and I've been writing a lot of letters in those typefaces. I've been using Papyrus for most of my letters.
I think you demonstrated that one on your blog, right?
Yep. That's on there. So yeah, there's that. One of my typewriter shelves exploded.
Oh no.
Fortunately, nothing got wrecked, but
oh well, that's good.
Like one of the shelves fell straight down onto the next one, and then it cracked the bottom out of the shelf, and the bottom's kind of spread. So I had to get on that pretty quick before the top shelves started collapsing.
Oh man.
But, didn't break anything, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Kept the shelf, but that could have been disastrous.
Oh yeah. How many typewriters were on that shelf?
16 just on the two. That, I mean, that's where I kept all my really small portables, the thin ones.
Okay.
There were a lot of typewriters on those two shelves.
Oh boy.
And,
yeah, so you lucked out then.
Yep. Very, very happy about that. That wasn't worse than it actually was.
Yeah. It must have made a horrible racket.
It made a big chunk because I was sitting right here when it happened. And,
oh man.
Whoa.
And you had to peel yourself off the ceiling?
What was that?
Did you have to peel yourself off the ceiling?
No, I didn't know what it was until like I started looking around, and I was like, oh, those typewriters are all sitting on top of each other
Oh man.
instead of all spaced out like they're supposed to be.
That'll get your heart rate going a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that was exciting. It's an exciting week.
Wow.
That's let's see what else. Made flyers for the type in, but should probably done that a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
But we got them out. We're passing them out. We expect a high attendance. We're very happy about the people who have said, well, like yourself, who have said they're coming. So,
I'm coming.
yep, you're coming.
Oh, Susan,
so
cool.
crazy. Didn't you say
Oh, that's so
specifically it was too
cool.
far?
I'm coming. I fear of missing out. I had to come.
Oh, wow.
So I'm coming and I'm bringing Andre the Giant.
Oh,
wow.
yes.
Crazy lady.
I'm bringing Andre the Giant because I didn't think any of you guys probably had one. So
No,
I
you're
felt like
right.
I needed to bring him so you could meet him in person.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll see him.
I told you, Brian.
Yeah, you did.
I received your letter, Susan, Friday. Thank you for your letter.
Oh,
I'll be reply-
you're welcome. I'm sorry it
I'll
took
be-
so long.
No. Never be sorry. Never. And I told Brian last night, I said, oh, Susan wrote to me that she's going. And he said, I hadn't heard that. I said, no,
Yeah,
Have the
I've
letter
been kind of
back in.
keeping it on the down low, but I had to, I really wanted my typewriter whisperer to go, and he is coming, and he's
Yep.
flying his private airplane down there, and he's bringing me some typewriters that I have to deliver to people here in Texas. So I said, well, if I tell you I'm going, Darwin, then you've got to bring me those typewriters. So he's definitely coming. And he told me he was probably going to be talking to Ted to ask him what he should bring. He's already thinking that he's going to bring a beautiful torpedo that's coral and cream color.
Okay.
And I said, well, you probably don't have to bring very much, but you should bring your little tool kit.
Oh, yeah.
You should bring a couple of tools in case anybody needs something worked on.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking a lot of typewriters to show off because I know that y'all already have amazing ones, but I didn't think you had an ambassador. So I thought I'll bring Andre the Giant.
We will reserve you a table.
Yeah, I was thinking we'll have to make sure we have a table that's adequate for it.
I'm going to bring probably my new faucet too.
Ooh, neat.
I got a faucet 1620, and I've been diligently cleaning it up because it was frozen.
Yeah, they always are.
I mean, frozen tight.
Yep.
And so I used stuff to clean out the escapement, and I used heat for my hair dryer and cleaned it again, and heat and cleaned it again. And then a spring popped off, and then it's my worst nightmare, but I got it back on. And then the dang ribbon drive system was frozen.
Ah,
So then I had to fix that. But I did, and today it's working great, and it's really cute. And it has the cutest suitcase, little case.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the old Saddle Oxford shoes. It's cream colored with brown keys.
oh, that's adorable.
The case is cream and brown, so I'm bringing that. But I'm not bringing any staplers, but I did get a new stapler or a paper fastener.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Oh,
Nice.
That's an old.
This is a Star paper
Star?
fastener. Uh-huh.
What's
And
the big spring? Why do they have the big?
the
big?
staples used to be attached, they would store them right here,
Oh,
and they were on a wire. And the little paper fastener, what it does is it cuts the wire when it attaches. So I found this in a garage on a shelf.
Wow. I've never seen anything like that.
It's from the late 1800s, early 1900s, because it is still it's a Jones Star paper fastener.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I posted it on the office supply website, and they told me that it was unusual. And so, yeah, It's awfully cute though. It was funny because Ron actually found it and he said, I need you to come in the garage. And I said, why? He left it there. Crazy man. And he said, I need you to come in the garage. And I go in the garage and he says, what do you think this is? And he shows it to me. I said, I think it's mine. And I think it's a stapler. And I took it from him. He goes, Susan, I said, seriously, that's what it is. I think it's the oldest one we have in our collection.
Yep.
Pretty cool though, huh?
Very cool.
Very
Yes.
cool.
They just had it in their garage, not even their office with their office supplies. Crazy people. What was it doing in the garage?
Well, they probably ran out of staples for it in 1920.
I mean, I just can't imagine why it was there, but my goodness, there it was waiting for me.
Wow.
No, I think Ted is on it. I think that is right. If they stopped producing the staples,
Yeah, you can't get the
You,
staples.
you can't really use it.
But it
But
looks
you keep
cute
it,
next to my
you keep it
Corona
because it's
3.
cute.
It
It
looks
was
cute
kept
next
because
to
it
my
was
Corona.
cute.
It's a display piece. Looks cute next to my Corona 3. I've got lots of working staplers that match my typewriter. So yeah, this one was just a serendipitous find.
Yeah.
But yeah, this faucet was giving me fits. So I had to post last night on, somebody was asking, why does their typewriter the keys keep getting sticky over and over? And I said, well, you just have to sometimes keep it at it every day for the longest period of time. Let it sit and then go back and do it again and keep on, because sometimes it just takes a long time. But this stuff was like glue. I've never even seen a faucet before.
Yeah, I hear they're like lubricated with whale oil.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's apocryphal, but that's what people have told me. Like they use like a natural animal derived grease to lubricate those things back in the 60s. And yeah, it hardens up solid. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I read
It's
about
quite
it in the
possible.
typewriter maintenance group, because I search all the posts, but it's cursive. And so I couldn't resist buying it. It was only $23 and actually $22.50. And so it was and the crazy people, they put the case on a different shelf and were charging $5 for the case. And I took it to the cashier and I said, I think this is supposed to go with this. And I said, I'll pay for it if you want me to. She said, oh no, you can have it. So I got the case for free, which was nice. And it was the same sale where they had the gold plated Quiet Deluxe that I posted and told people to hurry up and go. And I didn't go the first day because I didn't want the Quiet Deluxe and I didn't want to even be tempted by it. But I went the second day and I got this little faucet. And I think because it was just frozen solid, nobody could get it to work. So they didn't want to buy it. And I said, well, I can always have Darwin look at it if I can't get it. So for $22.50, I had to buy it. And so I did.
Yeah.
And I got my cute little desk.
Oh,
that
I
little
love
typewriter
it.
desk.
It's very cool. And a chair.
And a chair.
yeah.
I mean, I paid more for the desk and chair than I did for the typewriter, but I didn't really pay very much. I think I paid $30 for the desk and I paid $12 for the chair. So, and they're very cute. I have to refinish it, but it's very cute. And Daniel, if you want me to send you like measurements or something,
Oh, yes, please.
I could send you measurements since you're thinking you might want to build one for yourself, but it's perfect for putting like a Olympia or even a Hermes, and I can still close the lid. And then you have a flat table, and then you go, let me reveal to you what's in the secret compartment. It's my typewriter. Yeah, it was just really, cute. And I don't think anybody knew what it was because at first we didn't recognize what it was. And then I said, I think this lid lifts up. And then my husband said, let me put that faucet in there and we'll have a look. And we did, and it looks really cute. So that was a really great sale.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm very excited about next weekend. And
Yeah. So
it'll
are
be
you
a lot of
taking,
fun.
are you taking 2 days each day? I mean, two days each way?
Yeah, we have a place to stay. We're staying at a hotel on the same, I know that's a really long street where the bookstore is.
Yeah.
We're staying at some kind of boutique, cute little mid-century looking hotel on that street.
Oh, nice.
I'll text you the information, but we're gonna get there probably Friday afternoon. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna meet Darwin because we have to go out to his plane so I can give him some typewriters and get some typewriters and pack them in my car. And then, there will be, but we plan to have a great grand old time. It'll be great.
Yes, it will.
All right. Well, if
And
you
last
wanna-
year at this time, we were just finished with the Albuquerque type in.
Mhm.
So I was, we never heard any more from that guy in Florida about the big one that was supposed to be in Florida.
Huh.
Well, maybe he had it and he just, didn't tell us.
I noticed.
I mean, I think maybe he just came on to announce it.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be in October and I've never heard any more about it. And they've never posted anything on social media. Kind of weird.
Oh, okay. So you've been following their socials?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe it
Wow.
didn't happen.
Mm.
But there are a
It's
lot
not
of
on social media,
type-ins
it didn't
happening
happen.
all over the place. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah.
Yay, us.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
should I talk
it-
about my most hated typewriter?
I was just gonna ask you that. Yes.
Okay. Well, it's Magic Margins.
Mhm.
They can die in a fire. They're completely useless. That's my answer.
Excellent. Excellent.
I like tabs. Even keyboards had tabs because I have letterheads that have stuff printed on them, pre-printed, and so sometimes I have to make arcs around pieces of artwork that are on the sheet when I'm writing, and so I'll set the tabs to like go around that piece of artwork, and then I can just don't have to do a spacing all the way across the page to get there. So it is useful to me. Tabs. are.
Okay. That is a good use. That is a good use. Now, do you lump magic margins with the Hermes? Because it's essentially the same thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's Hermes has magic margins on it. Anything where you press a button and a spring draws the margin to wherever your carriage is at.
Yeah.
It's just always trim. I mean, especially Hermes, where they basically have them so they look like carriage release levers.
Yes.
I mean, you grab them instinctively, and you always high center the thing and get it locked up. And that's why I cannot take Hermes 3000s to type ins. I won't do it.
Oh yeah.
Because you get somebody who's brand new who's going to play with the machine, and they're going to hit those silver levers, and all of a sudden the machine doesn't work anymore, and they're like, "Oh, I broke it." And you don't ever want to make people feel that way.
Yes. Yes.
It's you never bring Hermes 3000s to a type in.
Yeah. Yeah.
For my,
At least on the Royals, the magic margins are
Same as
clearly
yours.
labeled.
Yeah.
I
But-
bring 3 Hermes 3000s to every type in because it gives me the opportunity to interact with people and show them how it works.
There you go.
it's guaranteed.
I
You're
always
bringing-
bring at least 1 or 2 Hermes typewriters with the margins to type in. So I don't really worry about it because they're pretty. I find that I use half sheets of paper and I go ahead and set the margins myself. And
Mhm.
very rarely does anybody mess them up. But people like to try the different type feels of different machines. And also I usually bring my stapler and stuff. So I set up a little display so that they can see how cute it could be.
Yep.
So I'm not bringing one to,
You're not bringing all your green stuff to the.
no. Well, I might bring some green stuff for Andre the Giant, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
see,
bringing a Hermes
Bringing
3000.
your ambassador, you really need to have the whole office there.
Well, I might just bring the whole office.
All right, it's good to hear.
including my
Excellent.
phone.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'm bringing like 10 typewriters. I'm not bringing a phone.
No.
Just gonna load the car with typewriters and that's it.
Yes, yes.
That's fine. I might bring a stapler.
Yeah. Well, Ted, thank you so much for your input on the topic for today. Was there anything else new with you that you wanted to share?
Oh, not really. That's about it. I've
Okay.
taken up enough of the Hollywood Squares time.
Excellent. Well, it's so good to see you, Ted.
It's great to see you too.
And it'll be even better to see you in person on Saturday. So
Indeed. Yeah, I'm excited. We're
yeah.
gonna have some times.
Yes, yes.
Gonna paint on green.
Excellent. Oh, I did want to say, let's see. I wanted to say hello to LaDonna in the YouTube chat. I think Diane's cat was crossing the screen, and so LaDonna says mandatory cat. Yes.
Mandatory cat ass.
Yeah, I think at the last meeting we had the most horrendous case of cat butt. It was there for a good long time, and it was in very detailed focus. And then I think Diane just bust up laughing.
I think it was the 3 different spots on the back that really made it. It was kind of confusing which one was.
Yeah.
Gotta love those HD cameras.
Yes, yes. Oh, all right. Danielle, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. I should say I'm doing better. I had a bit of a bout of vertigo, and to my surprise, I discovered that physiotherapy is helpful. So I'm going through some of that. But
Okay.
I was just gonna say, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm a physical therapist and I treat vertigo all the time. So I'm glad you found us.
well, thank you for saying, Brian. And I hadn't had vertigo for a long time, but the 10 days ago I had a very bad one that wouldn't go away, and I was on some meds to alleviate it, but the physio is actually helping quite a lot. So I'm happy with the results. So thank you for mentioning that, Brian, because you never know. Like that's another opinion there that just confirms it. It's always good to, and frankly, I hadn't researched it, so I can research typewriters like crazy on the internet and know. But when it comes to health, there's so much quackery sometimes that it's hard to know what is good and what is bad. But I'm feeling better, thank you. And I received Susan's letter on Friday, so it's fantastic. Thank you very much. I will be replying soon to and encourage you to write more. not twist your arm, and you never have to apologize for writing or not writing or whatever. It's the same for me. I don't always write all the time, so I come in certain waves where I write a lot, and then other waves I don't write so much because something else is happening, and so on and so forth. But I've been using newsprint copy paper to write lately, and I quite enjoy it. The only thing that it doesn't do well is the Selectric, and I quite like using my Selectric. But on the newsprint, I've been using my Olympia SM9 with a blue ribbon that I've re-inked, and it looks. I think it looks good. The fresh ink, it looks pretty good. And I've been also actively looking at a different setup for my office, like a different setup for tables and for storage of the different things that I've accumulated that are typewriter related. And right now the bookshelf has too much of my stuff in it. The bookshelf with my wife's books has too much of my own stuff in it. So I need to find a different arrangement. So I've been kind of looking at. You will remember that I shared on the forum, the TCL or TypePal forum, that different plans for making your own typewriter table. And so when I saw Susan's one, which is one that I hadn't seen before, I think it's quite small and fits better. And I actually I was going to write to you, Susan, to give me some dimensions, but also just confirm that like the sides are plywood or are they solid wood, or it doesn't really matter because I'm thinking of making it out of cabinet grade plywood, which is veneered with so the outside is very nice. I have maple and I have cherry, I think. Yeah, I have those two, maple and cherry cabinet grade plywood, and we'll choose one of the two to make something like that. And even looking at the photo, I kind of get it. It's quite simple. It just has to be put together, and it could be all, I think, all plywood, and it would be just fine. It would
Yeah,
be.
it is very simple. Mine it is vintage and it is solid wood top, and the fronts of the drawers are all solid wood. They're probably about an inch thick. And then it has the two shelves on the side that are pretty cool too, but they have pegs. We had to re-glue and
Okay.
reattach. I mean, it wasn't in great as found condition, but
Hmm.
I'm going to refinish or touch up the finish on it and everything. And I love the size, and I have a big one. I have a big one in my office. It's not
Yes.
the ones with drawers on two sides. It only has drawers on one side, but it's the one you can put a standard in, and that's usually where Betty lives, is on that particular desk. So I don't have her bolted in, so I don't ever have the totally flat desktop.
Okay. Yeah.
But this one is much smaller than that one. And like I said, it's perfect for the mid-century portable typewriters, which would do terrible in that other typing desk because that well is just too low. And their the carriage return arm would bump up against the side of that thing. Whereas in this one, you don't have that issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I looked at it and I said, where am I going to put it? And my husband said, as usual, you know what? If you really want it, you find a place to put it. And
So-
then he
So so
shored
that's
it up and he put it in the spot where I had said maybe I wanted it when I was going.
Yeah.
I had gone to get my hair done and I came back and it was all there. And I said, oh my
Aw.
gosh, honey, that's so sweet. He said, I even put a stapler with it. I even found the matching stapler for that typewriter, which is
Wow.
hilarious.
This is a project for the fall, building a table and reorganizing
Oh, yeah.
this office for me. And so listen, tabs, I use them all the time. Because I like to, when I start a letter, I like to put my address on the right hand side, and I like it to be, right aligned with the end of where I stop writing. So I set the tabs. I know it's 17 spaces for my address, so I set the tab so it goes there, and then you change a line, and it's there. I use the tabs when I address a letter so that the address, not the return address. You don't need a tab for the return address because it's left on the left margin. But for the middle of the letter, I set tabs, and then it's quick. And on the Selectric, it's so easy to set tabs and or else if you return the carriage, um, you either have to use the space bar or tabs to move. It's not just like a manual where you could just easily move the carriage, right? So the Selectric, you kind of are, you have to use the tabs to be more efficient. You could just space bar it, but you're going space barring for a long time. But setting a tab, and there's this thing on the Selectric that I read in the manual that you hit carriage return and you hit tab immediately, and it won't return totally to the left. It'll stop and then tab. So when I'm typing an address, I hit return and tab, hit return and then tab after, so I should say, and it moves and comes back. So it's quite quick, quite efficient.
Interesting.
And one thing that even though I have some typewriters that I really like, um, that don't have paper rest, I really miss when they don't have a proper paper rest. So I like it when the page doesn't flop on the table because maybe I have too much stuff on my table. I think that's the problem. Maybe I have cables for the radio and my charging my phone or whatever that run at the back of the table. So I really like a paper rest. But the tabs, oh yeah, I could get I could I could get along with not or I could have a typewriter that doesn't have tabs and I could use it easily if that's the only typewriter that I ever had access to, I could do it. But if a typewriter has tabs, I'm going to use them for sure. And they're so easy on the Olympia SM9 to cancel all. There's a lever that will clear all tabs. If you go from a paper that's that wide to a letter size paper and you have to use different tabs, you clear all, you set your tabs once at the beginning, and there you go. You're pretty easy to do. So I kind of like using the tabs a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to on the computer, writing. I used to use the tab very much so, for letter writing, but I still
Okay.
do.
Yeah. I do have to say the other feature that I don't really care for and pretty much never use is the paper rest. So I think we're
You see
exact
how people
opposites.
different? Yeah, it's not opposites. It's just different. We
Yeah,
don't have,
yeah.
but it's kind of funny. Of course, the modern way of writing a letter is to have everything left aligned. So everything left aligned. The return address or the your address at the top, and the date, and have nothing indented. And if you use that modern way of typing letters, then you hardly use the tabs. And uh, I that's just it. You use margins, but you don't use the tabs. So
Yeah.
there you go. And yeah, magic margins. I have a love and hate thing about them. When when they work, it's kind of okay. It's cool, but I like the visual margins. Like the indicators, and the Selectric for that is like the old Underwood 5 or that kind of category of typewriter where it's right at the front. Your margins are on a Selectric are right there on the scale. You don't guess. You don't have to lift the paper to say, "Well, where did I set my margins?" They're right in front of you. And I think that IBM really listened to me feedback from users about the features for tabs that they wanted to have them readily accessible and visible at all times. So no magic margins on the Selectric might mean that it wasn't that great an idea. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Thanks a lot, Greg. Nice to see
Yes,
you.
thank you, Danielle. I appreciate the input on the topic. Very cool. Oh, let me check the chat real quick. I'm not doing the second screen today because when I first set it up, it caused technical issues. I had to mess around with the sound, and so I have the chat just kind of off to the side here for YouTube, that is. But yes, there's no further comments, so that's okay. We do have 7 people watching us, so if they want to watch in silence, that's okay. Let's see. Diane, are you available? I caught her off guard.
I was muted.
Yes, yes.
Darn the mute. So
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So there was a topic. You can tell I haven't looked at the site in a while.
It's okay. It's okay. Yes. So basically, what is your least favorite typewriter feature?
I don't know.
Okay, there you go.
I'll have to think about that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Shifted keys.
What?
Oh,
Shifted keys. That's yours.
I know, right?
You mean the shift key period?
Yeah.
I finally switched typewriters back here.
Ah.
This is the double Gothic Underwood 3.
Ah.
Actually, I don't think you guys have seen. Forgive me if you have. It's like I don't think I had this last time. So.
Ah.
Don't think I had this one last time, but the table came with it. I'm not. I think it might have said Tiffany down here, but it's kind of scraped off. But anyway, Royal H, or at least,
Okay.
or at least that's what I'm assuming based on the serial number starting with the letter H, of course.
Ah.
So it's like 1934, and it's something I've been watching all summer long. You know, it's one of those things where they started it way too high, and they kind of admitted that. And it was for table and the typewriter. So I waited till it came down a bit. And so anyway.
And is that typewriter in working condition, or it needs some work?
Oh, the gray one? No, it works just fine.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's like I brought it home, I could start typing on it immediately, basically.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, they had gotten it from an estate sale over in St. Louis, and they had a Remington 16, I think, which I guess they like to go to estate sales and then resell things, and I get that, and but no. I have a Remington 12, so I don't need another one of those. So yeah, that was pretty cool to pick that up.
Yeah, definitely. With the table.
With it, yeah. It's kind of a shame it's kind of weird like that, and it doesn't have a top, but I guess that's some of them were made.
Huh.
And I have a few other things which, all that type ball talk makes me want to look up this one typeface I'm going to show you eventually. I'm not going to show it to you first. No.
Okay. Build up the suspense.
Of course. I picked up a few things.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Kind of like it's like this illustration is furnished to assist the operator in learning the keyboard. That's what it says there at the on the side. So the keyboard is for a Smith Premier 1, as you
Wow.
kind of as the decoration here, but it also has two space bars and whatnot. I got this little booklet, and it's on, they call it the automatic, what do they call it? Automatic type cleaning device is what it's for. And it says, use this, and here's the automatic type cleaning device. Use this and give your stenographer 2 weeks vacation. And they go in here, just, they show, yep, that's what it looks like.
Wow.
And it's like, 15 seconds to clean your type as opposed to half an hour.
Wow.
I don't know where they ever came up with that, but the last thing is a little booklet for Smith Premier. It's like a sales brochure, and it has models 2 through 6 in it, along with a top-down view of the type basket.
Oh, wow.
And describes their the various models, and oh yes, here you go. The line, the scale, the pointer, it's all right there. They had some interesting marketers working for this company, I swear. But the most important page in here, specimens of type. And look at that.
Oh, wow.
What we need an IBM Selectric ball for that, Ted. That last one.
You need to find a machine with that on it.
I know.
High resolution type sample.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's about the best we can do right now.
You got to find a machine with that typeface on it, and then make it.
I know. This is the new vogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I got all this from the anti-key chop, and he said something about, he showed this to me, and it's like, get a load of that, the new vogue for Smith Premiers. And he said, well, it's a race to see who can find it.
That royal cartoon.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, it's very interesting to see. I know the Smith Premier 1 manual that I posted up on Richard Polt's site, it has, I think, the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But these last 4 were new. It's like, well, it's the first time I've ever actually seen that documented somewhere. I mean, it shouldn't really surprise me. I guess maybe it's in the typeface book.
Not that I've seen.
Oh, but anyway,
It might be in Ronsmeyer Rodrian.
yeah, that's what I mean. That one. I'll have to look.
Wow.
But
you're a pro at finding those the paraphernalia, the advertising and brochures, and yeah.
No, actually, the anti-key chop is, because he's the one who supplies me.
Okay.
I will give him credit on that, because he's the one who supplies me. I don't see these things. I'm not looking in all the nooks and crannies, and
Okay.
I would love to say that I am, but I am not. There's a lot more of that stuff in that part of the country, because that's where the plant was,
Okay.
It's kind of like, yeah, you can probably find Oliver and Chicago stuff in this part of the country, but Smith Premier, well, not. And let's see, what feature do I dislike the most?
Yeah. Or even a feature that you just don't use.
A feature that I don't use. I can't think of one, to be honest.
Visible writing.
Boy, you're giving me some grief here today, Chad. No, because I use visible writing on the Model 10.
And it is the least used.
What? Yeah, well, I don't know, to be honest, because I really do use most of the functions on the typewriter.
Okay.
I mean, the more modern ones I could probably figure out, there's keys and functions I don't use on those, but for the old ones, it's like, well, what was, I think last week I was giving I was, telling Larry all about the decimal tabulators, because he was like, well, what are those 5 keys up there above the I had the Royal out last week and it had a decimal tabulator on it. He's like, well, what are those 5 keys? And I explained to him about that, and I typed this out, and I was showing him, and using this to explain, this is kind of what you do with it, and what it does, and because it prevents you having to backspace. It's like once you've got the decimal point set, you can type to the next, you can return to the next line and press the like after you press the decimal button, then you can go to the next button to the right, which is the 1, and it won't go all the way to the decimal point. It'll stop one space before. And
Yeah.
so no, I can't really think of anything that I don't use.
Okay, I accept that.
I mean, actually, I guess the one thing I don't use, I actually, there is one thing I don't use, the thing to draw the lines.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I've never really tried. I've never experimented with that. Although pretty much everybody says you can do that. The funny thing is, even Smith Premier says you can do that. I haven't tried that one yet. It's like, yeah, I got other things to do.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to clean one typewriter a week before the cold sets in, and then I'm not gonna do that, for until spring.
Yeah.
So yesterday was Densmore number 4 day, and I did get a type sample, although it was on the original ribbon, so it's very hard. It's there, but it's hard to read.
Oh.
And it's not complete because the letter X, there's this little, there's like a piece of metal around, there's like I don't know how you describe it. The X key will not fully travel up. It's stuck about here because there's this piece of metal, and there's like kind of like there's a square around it. Hard to describe when it's out in the garage. Basically that it's hanging up on that, and I'm pretty sure it probably needs to be formed, but I'm not sure, and I'm not the one to do that. So yeah, and it's the letter X, so it's frequently used, and it's like, yeah, well, everything else works on it. So I don't know if it's just a burr on the type bar, or if this piece of metal that I don't know what it's called and can't describe very well, if I just need to have that formed, I don't know at this point.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. And anything else new with you?
No, I think next week might be Smith Premier 9 week,
Oh, okay.
i.e. cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, i.e. cleaning, because it's yeah.
Yep. Very good. Well, it looks like Joe's really good at cleaning, so you could have him help you out.
Well, hey there, everybody. Hi, Gregory. How you doing?
Hello.
Well,
good.
so this morning, about an hour before this started, I went over to a lady's house that she'd emailed me, and she gave me this Hermes rocket. This is a made in Great Britain Hermes rocket. So the serial number, I couldn't find it on the database, but it has a prefix of S2/ and then 6 digits. So it's the newer style rocket as far as the keys and stuff. So, and the logo on the cover is, that style, the oval logo. So anyways, made in England or Britain or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty dirty. It's full of whiteout. And this was her mother's typewriter. So, and then she also gave me a 5 Series Smith Corona Sterling in some standard pica typeface. So those are like, hence those are kind of common, those kind of typewriters, but they're good to collect if you need a bunch of rugged typewriters for type-ins, right? The 5 Series Smith Coronas are always good. So my wife was reminding me today that this makes 5 typewriters I've acquired this month.
Yeah, greedy man.
And she didn't seem upset. She's like, well, you need typewriters that are rugged that you can use for type-ins. And you don't want to bring your fragile, more rare machines to public type-ins necessarily, because it's hard to watch everybody. Like my Corona Standard, the flat top one, it got a little scratched at the previous type-in. Somebody with jewelry or something was scratching the paint. So, that kind of stuff. You can't just watch everybody, right? So
Yeah.
anyways, so it's good that my wife is feeling the same way I am about this.
I like the phrase that you need them. I like that phrasing.
Yeah, well, I need them because if I'm doing type-ins, which we are, it's nice to have rugged machines that work well. And I think I agree with Ted. I don't like magic margin kind of machines. And it's mainly because you don't have an indicator, a margin indicator. You can't just look at the machine and see where your margins are. You have to kind of test it, which is kind of backwards, right? Or kind of, but as far as the feature that I find least useful, at least a common feature, is the right margin. I know people a lot of times, I'm going to set my left margin like an inch in, and I'm going to set my right margin an inch in. I'm always like, you're going to regret that right margin, because you're going to hit that right margin, then you're always going to have to hit the margin release to type beyond it. Just set the right margin all the way to the right edge of the paper. That way you won't overtype the paper. But and then you can do whatever you want with the margin without being interrupted, right?
I want to be able to hear the bell once in a while.
What's that?
Yeah.
I want to be able to hear the bell once in a while.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you want to hear the bell. I suppose if you live a lonely life, you want to hear the bell, whatever. But, no, I'm just joking.
That hurts.
Anyways. So I guess the type-in Phoenix is just a week away. Is that what I'm thinking?
Less than a week. This is
Less than
Sunday.
a week, yeah.
It's Saturday.
We're going to be
6
out
days.
there. And in fact, I was at the hardware store yesterday buying some rubber parts for a typewriter you guys haven't seen from me yet, which is this one. Anybody guess what this is?
Remington Portable.
Oh, there you go. Yep. 1922. Well, you know that, Ted. 1922. So yeah, I
That's
got
portable
some rubber,
one.
got some rubber parts for number one. And I ordered the internal feet, the feet on the corners of the machine. I ordered it from the typewriter guy over in England. So,
Wow.
so anyways.
I was on the maintenance forum looking for those.
Yeah. But I had to replace the little rubber discs that were in the bottom, on the bottom, that pads the frame when you set it down. So
Yeah.
I had to buy several thinner ones and glue them together, kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
Yeah, they're nailed in, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, this was a pleasant surprise getting a Hermes rocket, and it actually is other than being, really dirty with whiteout, it actually works okay. Needs a new ribbon, which we'll put on here maybe shortly before the program ends. But yeah.
I think the style of the logo on that one is the "We Are Memory Keepers" style.
It looks like yeah, exactly. I think We Are Memory Keepers stole that from the Hermes rocket, apparently.
Every once in a while, I'll see when I quickly on the internet scrolling through something, I'll say, "Oh, that's a Hermes." Oh, no, wait a second.
Yeah, they're being deceptive. Dang it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Knock
so
off.
yeah, this little
Joe.
Hermes is
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe, as far as finding that machine on the database, I think you'll find on the back it says made in West Bromwich, England by British typewriters. So you'll probably find it under British Empire.
Aristocrat.
British Empire.
Yeah, this is made in England under Pallard, is what it says.
Yep.
Exclusively for Pallard. So under, it's a little bent, but
Because the Empire Aristocrat was a licensed copy of the Hermes rocket or Hermes baby.
okay.
So a
So
chance
think
you'll
the
find
serial number
the
will be under Empire Aristocrat, even though this is branded as Hermes and all that. Okay.
that's my first guess.
Okay. It's probably early 60s just from the body shape or the body style. Because I had that
Okay.
older Hermes rocket that was the early 50s body style. And this is definitely the newer one. So yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
and I'm looking forward to being out at the Type-In in Phoenix. And I was going to finish the story. I was in the hardware store yesterday getting some rubber parts, and Bob Marshall calls me. So I'm standing around in the hardware section talking to Bob Marshall. And when you talk to Bob Marshall, it's always a good conversation, and so it was great. And I was starting to look around at these other people in the same section of the aisle were kind of listening to me talk, and we have a weirdo in aisle 6.
Oh.
Anyways.
Uh,
So
Excellent.
what kind of weather are we going to have, Brian, for the Type-In?
Beautiful weather.
Oh, good.
It's over the next, I looked at the extended forecast. It was 100 yesterday. It's like 1 or 2 degrees less every day. Next Saturday, 91.
91. Well, that's a little
Nice.
warmer than what we have. It's been nice and balmy in the 70s and low 80s here. But
Wear
we have
shorts,
our
no shirt.
monsoons happening. Did you guys get some rain lately?
We had one real good day of monsoons.
Yeah. Okay.
Took a couple trees down over here. We got a little bit of water, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a delayed monsoon, but we've had a good monsoon in the last couple weeks. So
it's gonna be just lovely here.
fantastic. Looking forward to it. And looking forward to seeing Gregory. Actually, you're going to be
Oh.
You guys have never met in person, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yes, I'll tell you now, Joe, I'm gonna be a little starstruck. So
Well, so if you ask for an autograph, I'll go ahead and give you one,
Oh
no charge for you,
yeah. That's good. That's good. I'll have you sign one of my typewriters or something.
Oh, I can do that, I'll have to bring one of those special ink pens. What is it? Like a Sharpie with a silver, gold, or
Oh
something.
yeah. Yep.
Like Tom Hanks signs his.
I have those for signing records.
Ah, yes.
Is that what you use? The
Yeah.
Sharpie?
Yeah, the gold and silver paint pens.
Okay.
Yeah,
For all
those
your
are
usually
all
autographed
your
by
fans
people.
of your gold or platinum album, Brian?
No, I don't have those personally. Yeah, one that's I have a Jonathan Richman record that's autographed, and that's what I use with me. I stuck him, cut a couple of those paint pens and stuck them in the jacket and took it with me to the back door of the theater.
Wow.
Nice. Very cool. Well,
Well.
Joe, it is so good to see you, and it'll be even better to see you on Saturday.
Yes. Good to see you
Uh,
guys too.
I'm sure you'll be filming, and I will be live streaming.
There you go.
I'm
Yep.
not sure how much live streaming I'll do, but I will do some. So
Yeah, I'm obligated to do some filming, although when I'm on
Yeah.
vacation, sometimes it's hard to get motivated, But I'm retired, so I guess I'm on vacation all the time now. So I don't know. Anyways, anyways, it's great to see everybody there. And I
Excellent.
hope you had a nice summer off from doing this.
Yes, it was a much needed break, and
We missed you.
I thank you, thank you. I think this twice a month is going to work perfectly. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
nice. It's we can, if we decide not to be here on a Sunday, we can pick which Sunday that is.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, exactly.
So
Yeah, very cool.
all right.
All right. So there are a few comments in the YouTube chat. We have Thomas Fasano. I apologize if I mispronounce that. Watching from Claremont, that's not too far from here, in Southern California. Then we have John Young chiming in on the topic for today. So he says, least used, how many people make stencils today? So the stencil position on the ribbon selector, that's an interesting one. Does anyone use that feature? Yeah,
I totally forgot about it. That's so I didn't even mention it.
There you go. Yeah, so when I saw that in the chat, I was like, oh yeah. So that's a great one, John. Thank you for contributing that. And then Thomas Fasano chimes in, says card holders, which often don't work as intended. I know Joe uses the card holders a lot. He's talked about them in his videos a lot. But yeah, I think the one thing for me is the card holder. It helps get you that much closer to the end of the page. Sometimes if there's no card holder, the page is more likely to slip. So yeah, so that was a good one as well. And then the Donna says typewriter harmony. I think she's enjoying our meeting today. So thank you for being here, LaDonna. Yeah. We already spoke a little bit to Susan, but I wanted to officially say hello to you again. Was there anything else that you didn't cover, or I don't remember if you...
I didn't say what my feature was that I don't use.
Yes.
And I don't use the end of page things.
Oh, yeah.
On different machines, they have different things they're supposed to tell you the end of the page. I should use it because oftentimes I get to the end of the page and I go, oh my God, now I have to write a whole nother page of a letter.
Yeah.
But I don't use the end of page things. I don't really get how they work. And so sometimes they don't really work for me. And so I don't use that end of page.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was my feature. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone too next week. I cannot wait. I will be signing off here in a few minutes because I've got somebody coming over. We're doing a mini type-in at my house, so you can
cool.
see some of my machines. Well, we did that a lot in the pandemic. He lives in my neighborhood and he's a big collector, and taking some of his machines to Phoenix so they can go on to Glenwood Springs. And he specifically asked to see a few of my newer machines. So, he's coming around 2:00. So I'll be signing off here after a little while, but it's always good to see everybody. And I think it's great every other week because, we can always use the Type and Talk on the Sundays that we're not having the official Typewriter Club live, and that works great. So
excellent. That's good to hear.
So you don't need to worry, Gregory. That was a good decision that you made.
Good. And I forgot to mention that the 13th of this month was not only my birthday, but it was also the 3rd year anniversary of Typewriter Club Live. So I should have done like a special pop-up thing, but I was just enjoying relaxing on my birthday, and so it crossed my mind, but I was like, it's okay. It's okay. But yes, it's been 3
you get to do whatever you want to on your birthday.
Thank you. And how are you, Brian Powers?
Oh, I'm doing great. Not building a shed this weekend. It's all done, thankfully. It's
No
raining.
walls
Otherwise,
falling down.
yeah, I actually went back and rewatched it. It's kind of a little comedy moment. Thankfully, it didn't fall on me.
Yes, that would have been bad.
Yeah, well, let's see here. I've got some of my little machines out here.
Oh, cool.
I'm actually in my basement workshop here. I'm a woodworker as well, so we got all kinds of tools around. But yeah, the ones that people really care about here are the typewriters, of course.
Nice.
So yeah, this is my little collection, kind of from oldest to newest. We were talking about, a bunch of typewriter features, and a couple of them, most of them they're pretty much all the same. But the thing that I realize the most when I go from machine to machine are the little, like I don't even know what the word is for it, but I'll kind of these little things, like the indicators, I guess, for where you're going to type. Some of them are very distracting for me, I guess, like where you can't
Yeah.
really see much as what you can type. And some of them are very clean, like my Royal KMM. I like that a lot, just because it's, well, I got the paper sports here, or card sports, but it's just a very nice clean line. And yeah, you can see everything that you type. And other ones, there's just a lot of stuff there that gets in the way.
Yeah.
But let's see. Yeah, since last time, I did get the shed built. I did finally get all the type bars and the linkages fixed on this Smith Corona 5 series, that little Silent Super there. I
Excellent.
do have to get in and repair the little springs back inside here, because this rear cover likes to flap open. So of course it's held in place by a little piece of masking tape.
Oh.
Thankfully, I have both springs, but at some point, I think somebody probably forced it open and kind of bent the springs wrong. But
Oh.
yeah, I do have my very first typewriter ever was my grandfather's. He was a pharmacist that opened up a bunch of Osco pharmacies in Wisconsin once upon a time. So I have his original typewriter, and then my great grandfather's old Royal Deluxe typewriter from 1936, which is basically mint condition with all the the chrome trimmings and everything. I think it's been sitting in a closet for 90 years or so, or 80 years.
Wow.
The some of the I guess the noiseless or the quiet features I don't care too much for, especially like this Remington noiseless. I'm probably going to end up rehoming it, because I just don't love the feel of it. Thankfully, I posted a video online. There was a problem I was having just with one of the keys, and it was always the G key. Like the other ones would sound all that muffled silent sound, and then the G key just sounded like a regular typewriter. And I posted a video on Reddit a while back, and somebody somehow from the video noticed that the one little linkage down there, the kind of that secondary linkage, was different from all the other ones.
Huh.
And sure enough, just had to get that linkage repaired and reattached and reformed a little bit, and then it worked like it was brand new.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Let's see, anything new? That's pretty much it. I'm still waiting to find my my number 10 typewriter. I'm looking for an Olympia SG1 to kind of fill out my little collection. I need a big brother for this one here.
Yeah.
There's somebody that has a really nice kind of mint condition one out in Los Angeles, but that's a long way to ship a typewriter that big. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Has
Excellent.
anybody ever shipped one of those SG1s before? I know the carriage comes off, so I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to detach it and ship it, or if it would be a bad idea and leave it unattached.
Yeah,
That's a
definitely
good
take it
question.
off.
No,
Okay.
take it off. Okay.
Yeah, it comes off so easy. It's just those two little levers on the side, and the whole carriage comes off. So I figured that would be best to kind of protect it and keep the escapement from getting damaged.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
I do think that is often one of the things that is damaged in shipment, anything to do with the carriage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because often they wouldn't be secured properly. So yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
One of the typewriters I kind of had to do a little bit of research on was this little Olympia. It looks like a Traveler, but I think I
Oh,
found out
yes.
it's a little later model, a later model SF Deluxe, because it does have the touch control on the inside, And yeah, because it looks like a Traveler, but it is apparently a later model SF Deluxe, which as far as I know anyway. And Joe Van Cleve, of course, I think he's still on. He turned me on to the little Royal Mercuries here, and I found out this one. I didn't notice it when I ordered it, but it does have a Spanish keyboard.
Oh, cool.
But thankfully, you can still do all the letters and all that. But actually, these little O's and A's there, one's underlined, there. I have no idea what those are for. I've never seen those before. So if anybody knows, I'd love to hear it. It's got a little umlaut for German, I guess, and a little accent there. So
how do you like the Mercury?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, especially for I love that it's kind of sort of carriage shift, but not really.
Yeah.
where it tilts back. Yeah, I love it. It's
Oh yeah.
one of my favorite little portables. And actually, yeah, in comparison to the other little ultra portable right next door here, I love the feel of this one much better than the Olympia, which I don't say that a lot about Olympias. Usually they're awesome. But yeah, I love that little Royal. I've taken it with me. I throw it in my bicycle little pannier bag and take it to coffee shops and all that, and get some fun looks from people. We've got I'm in a university town here in Athens, Ohio, and so there's everybody blinking away on their iPads and their laptops and all that. So it's always fun to hear the little typewriter go ding. I try not to annoy people too much, but
yeah.
I do have one small question on my SM9. Let me see if I can figure out how to flip this camera around. I'm not sure if I can on Zoom. Anyway, my paper support here apparently has been damaged. Probably knocked this way too badly. I couldn't really see a way to kind of straighten it out. I mean, down here there's a little kind of spot where you can see where it probably just bit into the frame. I was thinking about just, I don't know, adding a little piece of Suguru or something in there to keep it from pushing out that way. But if anybody has any ideas on how to straighten that up, I'm all ears.
Bend it.
Yeah.
I would say, thankfully, like I tried to bend it kind of the other way, but if you bend it the other way, then it just goes down and it locks. Because I think at some point it got knocked too far this way, and that made it crooked. So I was like, I don't know, I guess I could try to bend it down at the base or something, but
Well, bend the stop.
it works. It's not broken.
Yeah. If you got a dent in that slot,
Yeah.
Then maybe like take a pair of needle nose and try to flatten it out so that it
that's a good idea.
earlier.
Yeah, kind of flatten it down and form it a little bit so it catches earlier. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like put cloth in between the jaws so you don't scratch up your paint.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you definitely don't need that.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
that one has that SM9 has a weird, like, it's an inconsistent escapement, like it's not like every 25th letter it'll skip a space. I think it's more my technique. Like if I start hitting letters too fast, sometimes if I still have like two down kind of at the same time, it'll skip a few spaces.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I'll go a whole page and it doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden it'll skip ahead like 6 spaces. I'm like, wait a minute. So I gotta take apart that, I think, and clean out that escapement and see if that helps. But
It
other
jumps.
than that, thankfully, well, not consistently 6. Like sometimes it'll be 1 or 2, sometimes it'll be like 5 or 6. Yeah, it's weirdly inconsistent.
If it's skipping multiples, you probably just need to clean the escapement because it's like the dog is sticking probably because if that dog doesn't come back and swing back and catch the ratchet soon enough, then it might go 2 or 3 spaces. So I mean, I'm assuming that that's a problem with like some kind of stickiness or dirt.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That machine, when I got it, unfortunately had all kinds of whiteout. It came with one of those correctable ribbons, and it was just completely coated in white dust. The first time I stuck the air compressor down there, I had a full shower of whiteout dust.
Yeah, that sounds like a cleaning issue.
Oh yeah, that's good to know. I'm glad. That's kind of what I was thinking. I just hadn't taken that one apart just yet.
Quite often, that whiteout dust is referred to as dandruff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I looked in the mirror. I still had some of it all over my hair there.
And what I have found is a very common cause of skipping, especially in those typewriters, is eraser crumbs that have dropped down into the mechanism and got right into the escapement.
Yeah.
I had a Smith Cornet 6LTV series that I was skipping horribly when I bought it, and literally around the whole escapement area was half an inch thick in eraser crumbs.
Wow.
So it required a serious extra deep cleaning with pressurized solvent spray. I have my own small engine shop, so I have all sorts of air compressors, Varsol tanks, industrial
yeah.
solvent, and that sort of stuff. So I can get right in there and
It's probably,
blast everything out.
probably my favorite little thing right here.
Yeah. And one other thing I will just mention, sometimes YouTube gets a little bit fussy if you have pictures of other TV shows screening while you're filming.
Yeah.
Like I saw a football game in the background. YouTube may get a bit touchy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope it's just the Bengals game in the background. Yeah, we'll try to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it was small enough, but there was an incident. One time we were talking to Indro actually, and he was getting ready to watch a game, and it was on his big screen TV, and he was just walking around, and it happened to be in the background, and YouTube said, okay, you need to do something about this. So I had to go back and blur it out. So
yeah. Well, I'll definitely keep the camera pointed this way then.
Okay. I think it was small enough that
oh, go ahead.
I think it was small enough that it probably didn't catch it, and then I was also ready to make it even smaller, like we are right now,
Gotcha.
just in case I got a little extra nervous. But
yeah, I guess Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they're struggling a little bit this year so far. So I don't know if you'd call it football or not, but we'll see.
Oh. Now, of course, you mentioned you're into woodworking. Have you thought about making a typewriter desk? With the
yeah, I've seen a couple of those mechanisms, like on like, you mean like the ones that kind of drop down and hide? And
yes.
Yeah, I love those. That would be a great project. I've made a couple of tables and a couple of desks, but not one with a typewriter desk. I feel like I need to find one in person and see if I can copy that mechanism, or even find an old beat up one and just steal the hardware from it.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, I have seen a couple of those. I'd love to find one around here that I can get my hands on, at least study the mechanism and see how it works.
Exactly. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, it's
that's about all I know. Yeah,
okay.
I'm glad to be inside. It's much cooler this week than a couple weeks ago. I probably should have just waited a couple weeks to build that shed, but oh well. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'll miss all you guys in Phoenix. It's a little bit too far for me to get there from here on short order, but you guys will all have fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you can watch on YouTube.
Yeah, I hope to. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be live streaming, so very cool. Well, it's so good to see you again, and I'm glad we got to speak to you longer this time. So that was good.
Didn't have a wall fall on me.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I was laughing, but I was glad that you were safe.
Yes. Thankfully, it's just a little bit of framing. It didn't have all the sheeting and all the heavy stuff on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So we will see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Now the other Brian Good. How are you?
Well, y'all know what I'm doing, so not too much to say. Although my least used feature on a typewriter is the stencil position. The typewriter doesn't work setting. You want to make your typewriter look like it doesn't work, just put it in the stencil position and give it to somebody who doesn't know it.
Yeah.
I've done that more than once.
Oh.
It's not making it. My ribbon divider is broken. What should I do? Put it on black.
Yeah.
And in reference to silver and gold pens for signing typewriters.
Oh, let me zoom in on you. There we go.
And
nice.
I have an X2C. It's
oh, cool.
And the cartridge and color molding. And this is what you could do in a light colored element.
Yeah.
That's Caspar Baby Pants. Or Chris Ballou from President of the United States.
Oh yeah.
So this is him as Chris Ballou, and this is him as Caspar Baby Pants.
Okay.
Who makes kids music? So.
Wow.
So, not very typewriter related at all, but Oh, sure.
That's okay. Yeah.
Goes
Now,
looking forward
don't-
to seeing everybody.
Yeah. And don't be alarmed, but there's a big fish back there too.
Yes, there's a bunch of big fish. You know, that fish I found at Goodwill, and then I saw them all the time. But I'm like, I'm going to buy one of those damn fish pillows and put it in my house. And so I finally saw it one day. I'm like, well, I'm buying it. It's it. And I've seen them every place, but I couldn't find any more. So I went on Amazon and bought 2 more.
Oh,
Since I'm showing you stuff.
yeah. Um, yes, there we go. Now, I'm not a fisherman, so I have no idea what fish those are, but they look very nice.
I think that's a trout.
Okay.
It's bass, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
This one is a stripy fish. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Very cool.
Oh, that's my dog.
Yes.
Look at his nose.
Oh, Koa.
That's the SU1 that's going to the type in.
Nice.
And what's a record player?
Oh, there we go. Excellent.
Yeah, nothing else going on. I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody. And it's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
It's gonna be epic. My goodness.
Yep.
Wow.
Even if only these people show up that I know are coming, it's still like 12.
Yeah.
That's respectable. I can live with that. I think some more people will probably show up too.
Oh yeah.
I'd be surprised if there aren't like 100 people that show up at
I
least.
think we'll do okay.
Wow.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be exciting.
That's it.
Excellent. All right. Well, good to see you, Brian. Let's see here. Oh, let me check the YouTube chat. We have Anthony from Ireland watching. He says, sorry, I haven't been on the live streams lately. I quit my full-time job to become a self-employed writer, tour guide, and broadcaster. Wow. I've been doing a lot of weekend tours of and I'm going to slaughter it, even though, technically I have Irish blood in me, but Boyne Valley. Yeah, very cool. Oh, and looks like LaDonna is chiming in on the topic for today, agreeing with the end of page things. Are those the little metal rollers you can slide toward the paper on each side? Well, I think of it as typically it'd be over on the left, right? By the left button knob.
On the paper
It has
bale.
the little, no, the little numbered wheel that measures the
end of
paper,
page
basically.
indicator. End of page.
Yeah.
Page
I think
gauge.
Yeah.
LaDonna is talking about the paper fingers that are on some of the older Coronas and Smith Coronas, maybe.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Thank you for that.
Yeah, those
Very
are pretty useless also. Personally.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. So I think we have a new face here. Caesar, how are you? Mute.
Just press Alt A on your keyboard.
Alt A on the keyboard. Let's see. Let me. Okay. Well, we can come back to you, and yes, but we are so glad that you are here, though. Neil, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good.
Excellent.
Everything's good. I have a question for Brian. I know you're into a lot of these, I got to choose my words carefully, obscure bands. Have you ever heard of a band called the Dead Boys?
You're muted, Brian. I haven't heard of them.
Well, you're another person who may have heard.
Yes, I have. Kind of, maybe only one album, maybe two albums, 1977, Punk.
Punk, yeah, exactly. I knew
Yeah,
someone here would know.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I used to have a Dead Boys album. I think I got it at the thrift store. It just looked like it was Punk, so I picked it up. Why do you ask?
Well, the property that we're still managing here is in fact, I can say it now, it's gone up for sale. It's on the MLS listing as of yesterday. But the realtor is a fellow, lives in Las Vegas, and he's a member of the, what did I just say, Dead Boys.
Dead Boys.
The
Oh
Dead
wow.
Boys. So, and he's no young fellow. He's in his probably mid 50s. So of course, right away I Googled Dead Boys and I see all these old references to them, but nothing that has his photo in it. But so this leads to not a typewriter store, but I'll get to that in a minute. So when he's here a few weeks ago, he gives me this custom made guitar pick that says Dead Boys with I think it had a picture of a skull on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I really didn't want it, but I was just being polite. So, oh, thank you. I stuck it in my pocket. Well, you'll see where the story's going, but about 3 or 4 days later, the washing machine malfunctions and it won't spin out. And it's one of these deals. I got to call a repairman. I thought, no, I can do this. So like we do with typewriters, I go to YouTube, search for this model. It is nothing simple anymore. These things have so much electronic garbage on them. You know, I like the old ones where there's just a on and off switch and a knob, you know, 2 positions maybe. This has got all this. There's laundry cycles. I don't even know what people would do with all these laundry cycles. So you've got to tear the whole front off the machine and then get all this stuff from the bottom, finally get to the water pump, take that apart, and there's the culprit. There was the Dead Boys guitar pick stuck on the intake of the water pump. No water.
Oh.
Took, you know, it was a 2-second repair, but it took me, you know, an hour and a half to tear all the stuff off to get to it. So that's fine. But I had a feeling that you would know about the Dead Boys. So
I do.
the guitar pick's in 2 or 3 pieces now. I'll send it to you.
Oh.
So, typewriter related, I think I mentioned maybe last week, I've got my that Smith Corona Type R Electric 1950 late 50s machine out there. Finally, it took almost 3 weeks of flushing that segment and flushing and repeat. And I got the point, actually, I thought this one's going to get the best of me because I've never had one that was this gummed up. But finally, the day before yesterday, I got out some more acetone and just gave it a bath and some more air. And one by one, they started. It was like, it just took forever. But finally, now I can actually type with it. So I think that's going. So that's that parts machine that turned into one more for the.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll keep. It's just like I look at those machines. It's like, God, these things are built so well, and they're really just, I don't know. You've heard me talk about my love for them before. I just think they're great machines, and this one just types so beautifully. So I'm probably gonna, all the other machines I moved up to the electrics that I moved up to the cabin in Michigan. So this will be the only electric I have here in Key West right now. So I'll probably hang on to it and use it for a while. Still got some more little things I have to tweak with it, but that's what I've been up to lately. So I'm sitting here right now with the old Olivetti Underwood, the Studio 44, that you heard me mention also a week or so. It was here, and I got tucked away when I first bought it because I didn't really care for it that much. But now I'm learning to, I don't know if love it, but I like it anyway. It's here, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. Not a heck of a lot else going on. I've been watching with great interest Ted and Susan and some of the others trying out these new Selectric
Yeah.
type balls. So, and Joe as well, I think. So, but it looks like they'll get that perfected at some point, and then I'll probably get at least a couple of those. Pretty cool. It's amazing to me that people
Right.
do that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, not a whole lot going on, I guess. So I'll let somebody
Okay.
else talk.
Now, before you stop, did you have any input on the topic for today? Your
Yeah.
least favorite feature?
Yeah, there's, we have this, I'm drawing a blank on what it's called now, but on the left side of your carriage knob, the button that you can push in and pull out to change the variable spacing, I guess. I don't.
Mindfinder.
I never use that thing. I suppose, I guess the reason apparently was about forms and whatnot, and I suppose if you had to do that, it would be useful, but I don't know that I've ever used it. So
Excellent.
that would be my entry into the questions.
That's a very good one. Yeah, we've actually had several really good ones that I never even thought of. So excellent.
There is one use for the line finder that I use is to move the line a quarter of a line each time I write a different letter, so you don't imprint the platen time after time and get a corn cup appearance.
That's a really good. Yeah,
that's very good.
It's also very handy if you have letterhead that has pre-printed lines in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's really no other way to match them up except the line finder.
Yes, that's another good point.
Ta-da for now, Brian.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
And
yes, go ahead,
Neil. When it comes to really stubborn dirt and grease and gunk and muck in the type segment, sometimes you need to get right down to using toluene to actually remove that crap. But you got to be awful darn careful with that stuff. It attacks paint, plastic, rubber, anything except bare metal.
Say that again, Bill. What was the product?
Toluene, Toluene. It may be a little hard to get a hold of. In Canada, we can get it at home hardware called Toluol. I think Toluol. But it's basically toluene. It's a very strong solvent, which I say is very damaging to paint, plastic, rubber, and everything else, but does degrease and completely strip all metal of everything.
Wow. Yeah, I'm hesitant to say other products that I use because I know everybody has some strong feelings about different chemicals, but I'll go ahead and mention I even tried PB Blaster on it, which I don't think that really did much of anything, but I'm going to draw a blank on it now, but I have an oil that, oh my goodness, what's it called? It's an oil that I found that their slogan is the oil that creeps. Kroil, Kroil, Kroil.
Don't spoil it, Kroil it.
Exactly. And I've used that on so many different things over the years, and it just a little tiny bit works. So I tried that and I let that set overnight, and the next day is when I started using the acetone to flush it out. But I really, truth be told, I think it was the Kroil that really freed things up in there for me. So it's good stuff.
If the machine has been treated with WD-40, sometimes it takes some pretty harsh solvents to actually remove that residue that WD-40 leaves.
Yeah, and this person who had it, they were, I don't know how anybody lives through smoking any cigarettes, let alone as many cigarettes as this person must have smoked, because everything was covered with nicotine. Even just to clean, I took off parts of the body just to clean them with Simple Green and whatnot. And oh my God, the yellow nicotine tar, it's all over everything. So
yeah.
I've had some bad ones with nicotine before, but this one really, This one deserves a medal. It really was.
Oh.
It's
I have
it's as much of the tar in the cigarettes as the nicotine, which give you the brown coloring.
correct. Yeah.
I use the Bath and Clinical scrubbing bubbles.
Yeah.
Spray
Oh,
that on.
yeah.
It normally foams it white. If you got a typewriter that's been heavy that's being used in a heavy smoke situation, that foam just turned brown right off the bat.
I
And you
had
can
a
smell the tar coming out of it.
you can. I had a light color. At one time it was probably a white bath towel, but it's a shop towel now, and I had it folded 2 or 3 parts with the machine sitting in there. When I lifted up the machine, it looks like, oh my God, the tar underneath. It was just
Wow.
incredible. So, but it's good to see them finally. You get them moving, you think, oh, you got it. You let it set the next day, and you go back, and they're still just like barely going back. So when you get that breakthrough and you finally get the stuff out, it's good feeling. So,
Yeah. Definitely.
but that's
Excellent.
about all from here. So,
Alrighty. So good to see you,
everybody.
Neil.
Yeah.
You're gonna come out to Arizona, right? On Saturday.
I'll bop right over there. Lately, I don't know, between here and Michigan and Key Largo,
Yeah.
I get up in the morning trying to figure out where I'm at. But
Yeah.
I'm going
yeah.
back up to Michigan in 26. So if I'm
Okay.
up there, maybe I'll call him when I'm up there.
Yeah,
we have a
very
different
cool.
backdrop.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Let's see. Oh, let me check the YouTube chat. I'm trying to stay on top of that to include these people. Okay, so we're good. Caesar, do you have sound?
Can you hear
Yay,
me?
you do.
Yay!
Yes, yes.
All right.
How are
So
you?
I'm Caesar. Good, thank you. I'm Caesar. I'm in Utah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like 30 minutes north of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
I'm actually a newbie in the typewriters for about a couple weeks now.
Oh, wow.
And I played with typewriters back in junior high and high school, took the classes and things like that. But I've been a very active journal person where I draw and fountain pens and I was on the internet and on YouTube, and I ran into Mr. Joe Van Cleve's videos talking about his little tiny journals, homemade stuff, and I ran into his videos, and something just sparked about typewriters, which I love. I love analog stuff, everything. I love CDs. I have a large CD collection. I'm into vintage guitars, and I like to tinker on everything. And so I just so happened to run into a video, well, the American Typewriter documentary, and that just blew my
Yes.
mind. And I quickly just got online, Facebook Marketplace, and started looking up, see what's out there for sale. And I found one. A couple days later, I found one. I got a Royal Quiet Deluxe 1942 in just pristine condition. And I'm still new. I don't know all the terminology, but I find it so fascinating. I remember back in the day when I got into guitars and vintage stuff, and is a big rabbit hole. So I think this is another rabbit hole I'm getting myself into.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, I've been binge watching Joe's videos and all week long, and I'm kind of starstruck right now. So
That's okay. We all are.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's nice. This is a really nice community so far that I've been watching a lot of things and all the websites I've been running into. I ran into your actually website before your YouTube channel, and so I was looking for a community like typing community around here, and there isn't anything. So I mean, you Google typewriter communities, and this is the first thing that comes up.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Good.
So this is
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
Very
been fun.
cool.
I've been watching the last few shows, lives and things like that too.
Yeah.
So,
Now, have you happened upon Ted Monk's site, the typewriter database?
yes, I just discovered it last week. So I kind of been, yeah, I discovered it last week. And
Very good. Yeah, it's definitely a crucial resource, and certainly if you get into doing repairs, his blog is excellent, and then he publishes the typewriter repair Bibles, which are highly recommended. So yeah,
yes,
if you have a specific typewriter, the Bibles are published by uh, sort of clusters of typewriters of a particular brand. So you just find the one that you need, and you'll be blown away by the content. It's amazing. Yes. So
yes.
very cool. Now, do you find yourself being handy? Like, do you think you would want to get into doing your own repairs, or?
Yeah, I'm a guitar player. I've been playing guitar for like 30 some years. So I do all my repairs and I do all my setups and things like that, all my electronics. So I'm very handy. I like to, when I get into something, I go in deep. And I have another electric that I picked up the other day, and it has issues. So I've been tinkering with it. I want to tear it apart and just see how everything works.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, that's what's fascinating. I like to get into things, and so
Yeah.
I like to play around with stuff.
Okay. Now, I know it's still early in your collecting, but are there any typewriters that you have your eye on?
Yeah, actually, well, I bought this Electra Smith Corona Electra 210, and it has a
Yep,
lot of
yep.
issues with the return.
Uh,
And because I was watching Joe's videos, I seen that he uses that Royal Mercury a lot. And I just happened to see one online. I got on eBay and I seen one online. I picked it up for about $60. So I'm waiting
nice.
for that to come. And then I also picked up a Smith Corona Silent Super, which is another one that's around on the internet too. And so I'm like, I want to. So I have two coming. So
Okay. Excellent.
other than that, I mean, it's like I don't know. I mean, I like this. I've been playing around with this Royal Silent in the last few days, and I really like it for being so old. It's you know it's in really good condition. So
Yeah.
So,
and the reason I
sorry,
sorry go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
Oh, the reason I the typewriter got into my mind was because I journal a lot, and I was trying to find different ways of just kind of expanding and just writing. I do a lot of photo journal also. Like I'm into photography, film photography as well. So
Nice.
I like to print, put stuff in my journal. Like the other day I started this one. It's a little um and I like to actually took pictures of the typewriter like this.
Oh,
And I
cool.
actually did a type sample of it, you know.
Nice.
And just to document, I have a lot of journals go back a lot of years. And my son, he's already an adult, and he's like, Dad, is like, what's all this for? Is this is for you? You know, this is when I'm not here, you're gonna know who I am, and why did Dad have all this stuff and all these books and all these things, and so I was trying to find another way of documenting my life, and what other way than typing it as well. So I'm really excited because I was last night typing stuff, and it's like, wow. It's
Yeah.
like, I even got my daughter. She started playing around, and she's like, "What is that?" So it's like, so it's been really fun last few days, last few weeks, and my daughter's just like, she gets excited. She heard me typing last night with the bell, and she's like, "What is that, Dad?" And
Yeah. Yeah.
so, yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Excellent. Now, it's probably too early in your use of typewriters to perhaps speak on our topic, which is our least favorite feature. But is there anything that has struck you like immediately that you don't like or don't use, or?
Okay, I think I do. I think that the what is it called? Like I said, I'm not really too versed in the terminology, but
That's okay.
the guide, as you're typing, there's these little guides sometimes, like on the Smith Corona, there's a plastic one
Yes.
there, and you can barely see what you're typing sometimes. It's like that kind of distracted me, you know. I like to be able to see as nothing blocking the
Yeah. You,
letters and
I don't know if you
yeah.
see May typing there, and you can clearly see what you're talking about.
Yes.
There's those little metal things sticking up that are blocking the view of the.
The metal things don't really bother me, but on the Smith Corona,
Okay.
there's a plastic one, and the
Ah,
opening
yeah.
is really tiny, so it's like I
Okay.
didn't like that part. I was like, I should take that off, but I don't
Ah,
know if it'll affect the. But
yeah.
that's about the only thing I've noticed.
Okay. That's a good one, and it's quite valid, and it affects some typewriters much more than others. Um, this probably be new terminology for you, but I'm into thermal typewriters, and unfortunately, those are notorious for blocking the view of what you're typing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not bad on some typewriters, and then others it's very bad. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Because
Cool.
I definitely, like, as I'm writing, one of the reasons I'm a fairly slow writer is because I'm constantly going back and reading what I wrote. And
Yes.
when it blocks the review, it's like, ah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Excellent. So that's a great one. Definitely.
Good.
Very cool. So you mentioned the journaling. Now,
Mhm.
do you see any interest in writing letters, or maybe writing something creative like or fiction or essays or anything like that?
About several years ago, I started writing fiction, just short story stuff. I never shared it with
Okay.
anybody, but it's
Yeah, yeah.
um it's just like I said, it's I am interested in like writing letters. I think that's an art that's been gone forever, and I think it should come back. Just
Yeah.
I think the physicality of objects and holding things, and it's like we're losing touch with all this technology. Like just last week, I was doing some AI stuff at work, and I was blown away by what you can do. And I work in 3D design, so I'm really have to be on task and on par with everything that's 3D wise. So this whole analog thing is like an outlet for me, from being
Yeah.
having to be technically right all the time, and so yes, it's something that once I get home, all the current technology things is out the window. It's out the door. I leave it behind, and I would like to have a correspondence or something as well with this type pal thing. It's
Yeah.
I think it's really really cool.
Are you already signed up?
I did. I signed up the other
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. And if you need any tips or suggestions or anything like that, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to help. So yeah, I keep intending on making like tutorial videos on how to use it, but yeah, one day I will. 'Cause I think there's some nice tips and tricks that are kind of hidden in there, like the advanced search, especially. You could use that to find specific things about people, like a specific interest or something like
Mhm.
that. Like you could search for guitars or fountain
Yep.
pens
That's-
or like I did with William, boomerangs,
Yep.
yeah, and or
Um,
kites.
I noticed the Fender emblem on the wall behind you there. So
Yes.
you're probably into
Yes, I love
guitars.
Fender. Yeah, it's my first
Yep.
my first ever.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
There,
I've had some
there.
vintage stuff in the past. I'm not into like having things and just sitting there, and um, I wanted to collect, but I'm not. After they sit around and it's like I can't connect with them, I don't play them, so I got rid of them. So I only have stuff that I play. So yeah, I'm kind of attached to that brand. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Very cool. Well, it's so good to meet you, and you are
Yeah.
one of us now. You've been on here,
Oh,
so
thank you. Nice
you're
meeting
always
all
welcome.
you and
Yeah, very
cool.
cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, let me check the chat. Anthony in Ireland is saying hello to everyone. He says to Joe, your YouTube output has been fantastic lately. I watch all your videos and enjoy them thoroughly. He says hi also to Ted, Diane, Neil, May, and William, and hello to Caesar. Welcome. This is a wonderful community, and you will learn so much here. That is true. I learn. Oh my goodness. Honestly, when I started this, I only knew the very basics of typewriters, and having so many people is providing their knowledge has been absolutely amazing. Yeah. Anthony Murphy here. Did I use a different name? I thought I said Anthony in Ireland. Because in the YouTube chat, he says, by the way, it's Anthony Murphy here.
Yes.
Yes. I thought I said Anthony. Maybe I misspoke. But if I did, I am so sorry, Anthony. So sorry. Yes. All right. So we're caught up on that. Very cool. May, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You're getting a lot
Gregory.
of typing done.
I am. That's when I do most of my typing.
Yeah.
When I'm thinking about typewriters.
Oh,
So belated happy birthday wishes to you. So
thank you.
now
Thank
we're
you.
the same age. And also 3-year typewriter club live anniversary, right? You started around this time last year. I mean, 3 years ago. Yeah.
I started on my birthday of all things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then same with me. It's my 3-year typewriter anniversary last month. So I started along with you and your typewriter club life journey. So I'm doing great. No new typewriters on the May front, which is a good thing. I have plenty of typewriters to enjoy. So.
Oh yeah.
Taking a break. There's more for you guys now. No competition for me for a while. And so enjoying typewriters and thinking about today's topic, what's our least favorite, I believe is how you worded the question. And so I thought about that literally, like, so it's a favorite feature that we like, but it's the least favorite. And I was actually typing about that. So answering the question, I'm not a fan of margin release, although I do use it often. But it's in moments that are breaking my writing flow because I have to stop and think about hyphenation rules. And so I thought, well, what if I just didn't set the margin? We'll set it like right at the end of the paper. And so I'll still get the ding, but it's right at the end. So I have to hyphenate now, and then that way I don't have to think about, hitting the margin. I just have to think about the hyphenation still, because I do like to fit my words in the line perfectly if I can. So that's my least favorite feature. And then I thought about the question the other way. What are features that you don't like, in a typewriter? And this typewriter has pretty much every feature, except for the magic margins, which I don't like, although I like the typewriters they come on. Like I like the Royal Quiet Deluxes and I like the Hermes. Of course, everybody loves the Hermes, but that magic margin is just, especially if you type on multiple size sheets of paper, you sit down the typewriter, you have to find the margin, and then you have to, and some of them get stuck every now and then, you have to clean that feature out, whereas the sliding margins are so much easier to repair. So not a big fan of the magic margin. And then another way I thought to answer that question, so we've got 3 ways to answer your topic, is features that rather are not there. Like what are some features on some typewriters that aren't there? Like some of my typewriters don't have a paper rest, so I wish all typewriters came with the paper rest. And then I don't like typewriters that have don't have the one exclamation key, because apparently I like to use the exclamation mark a lot. And on typewriters where you have to make them, it never really looks right. It's always just offset, just a hair, or the apostrophe is too low and they smash together. It never looks like a real exclamation mark. So I prefer typewriter to have exclamation mark. And I don't use the one key quite as often. But lowercase L does not bother me on that one, but the exclamation mark is important to me. And then the feature I don't like is the apostrophe, having to shift 8 for the apostrophe on, the traditional manual typewriters. I am just automated to use my pinky. So I like the vintage electric typewriters for, that's one of the big reasons I like them, is it's just more natural to me because my brain has been trained to hit the apostrophe, with my pinky, and the quotes as well. So I don't like that feature as much, but I'll still use it. I mean, it doesn't mean I won't use a manual typewriter, but I do have to stop and think, and I often make that mistake in typing an 8 instead of apostrophe.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that's my 3 ways to answer your topic. And
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Enjoying the chat and the cats and new faces. Hello, Caesar.
Yeah.
Hello to all of our regular typewriter hooligans. So,
yeah. Very cool. All right.
well,
Well, anything else new with you?
not typewriter wise, no. Just the sequential letter. I dropped the ball. I still haven't mailed it yet, but I've got it ready to mail tomorrow. So
Okay.
I should have thought ahead and sent it out in time for your birthday, but so that but I didn't. So but yeah, the sequential letter will be heading your way in a few days. So
Excellent.
I'll have to go to the post office just to make sure it doesn't need extra postage. So
Yeah.
look
It
forward.
sounds like it's getting pretty big. So
It's getting, I'm number 6 of 8, I believe.
yeah.
So everyone included only 1 page, but
Okay.
it's mostly nice paper. So it's a little heavier than like, cheap or airmail paper. So it might take some extra postage once you put, I don't know what the limit is, but I don't have a postal or a scale, I have a regular bathroom scale, but that's not gonna
1 ounce. I don't think
I
you
don't
need-
have a postal, worthy scale. So I'll have to go to the post office just to make sure. I mean,
Okay.
I guess to be safe, I can always put 2 stamps on there,
Well,
but I'd like to save my
if,
stamps if I can.
Yeah.
even if you have an electronic kitchen scale, that is usually accurate to within 2 grams. Will give you a pretty good idea as to.
I guess
or at
I could
least-
take it to school tomorrow and use the scales in the lab. So that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. I do have access to a postal worthy scale.
There you go.
Thanks.
Very cool. Excellent. Well, it is so good to see you, May.
It's good to
Mhm.
see you too,
Always great to see
Gregory
you,
and
Medea.
Joe and Ted and Diane. Oh, we have another new face, and Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Yes.
Hi, man. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Great. Good to meet you
And
too.
and Andrew, welcome.
Great
Since you are-
segue right there.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Since you are new, did you want to just briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I can try to. My name is Andrew. I'm from Sudbury, Canada. I joined a few months back, and I exchanged some letters with some of the people on the type housings. That's been nice. Well, I don't want to go into like a whole discussion about it, but I originally had a Sears typewriter called like an Auto, I think something like an Auto 12. So I can't remember the full name, but I was going to use that, and I signed up for the service and everything. And then I realized when I got it, it didn't come with a charger for it. Most electric typewriters have like a charger built in, but this one didn't. So I spent some time trying to find it on eBay, and I tried to order one, and then it was like a different one. It seemed like the same power, but that one didn't work. So I just got a whole new typewriter. So I have a Sears, no, not a Sears. I have a Smith Corona Electra 110 right now.
Oh,
I think made from
nice.
the 1970s. I can't remember exactly how to time. It's either 60s or 70s. So that's been
late
really good.
60s, early
But-
70s.
But I remembered I didn't turn my like receiving of letters on and off. So I got a letter from a guy in Alberta. So I felt bad. So I'm like, he wrote me and I gotta wait for him to get back to me. So I typed up a letter on my computer and I sent it to him. So I was feeling bad. I'm like, this is the whole point of like the type pals thing is to type on
Hey,
a typewriter.
it was a
But I was
letter.
like, I thought I better send him a
letter,
reply.
yeah.
So.
Yep, it was a
So
letter.
from now on,
and
I'm just
I
typing.
enjoyed it too.
Did you use
Oh, nice to
monospace
meet you.
font?
So what?
Nice to meet you, William. I didn't know you
Yep,
were here.
yep, it's me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yep.
That is so cool.
But yeah,
I-
it's nice to meet all the different nationalities and different people. It seems like it's mostly kind of older folks that have the typewriter enthusiasm, but there's like a handful of like younger folks too in their like teens and 20s and that kind of thing. So
Yes.
happy to talk to anyone of any any age, any gender.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right because a lot of us older people, we were using typewriters, when they were a common
Right.
thing. So
Right.
there's that carryover, but we do have some surprisingly young members as well.
Lucas
me.
In
Doll.
fact, our youngest type pal who joined recently is I believe 8 years old. So yeah.
Wow.
Um, I'm not recalling if it's a he or she, but I'm going to say he just because he's having his mother help him,
Yeah.
with the whole process. So
Wow.
it's being observed and
That's cool.
everything like that. So it should be nice and safe. So
Yes.
that's
Well,
we definitely
this
want to
is
keep it
safe community.
a safe community. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that is so cool that you're meeting your type pal right here on the live stream.
Yeah, that's lovely. Especially when it takes. I mean, obviously it's nice like waiting to receive a response, but I guess it's nice to connect people through the internet too, and like know they got the response and like work out things. It's
Yeah,
probably hard
sure.
to like I don't know, like if anything happens to someone or like maybe if they change the address or anything like that. I guess before the internet, you just had to wait for a response in the mail or maybe a phone call or something like that. So
Yeah.
I was
Now,
trying to think of like least favorite typewriter features. I can't. I'll have to ponder that one a little bit more. I have
Okay.
to-
Okay.
But what
We
were we
can
going to
always
say,
come back
Bernard?
on that. I was just gonna say, other than letter writing, are there other uses you have for typewriters? Do you do any creative writing or journaling, anything like that?
Oh yeah, sometimes I like writing short stories. I'm a musician, so I like typing out lyrics that way. I'm kind of a hard writer, so I try not to be, but my hand gets kind of like tired easily writing. So having the typewriter is nice. And I suppose like if I'm typing on my phone is useful too, and like the iPhone notes. But I guess if I'm typing out like whether it be a story idea or like song lyrics, I can like put it in like all in one bucket or one place, and I can find it easily. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah. How about the rest
Very
of you guys? What do you use your typewriters for?
Definitely letter writing. Many of us have blogs. So, you type the page and then you scan it. And Ted is famous for that. Joe's famous for that. I'm less famous for it, but I do it. Yeah. One, I don't think Ovi's on here anymore, but he blew our mind when we first met him. He talked about typing out his prayers, which I found fascinating. I had never heard of before. So that was really interesting. You get people doing their to-do lists. We hear that a lot. So yeah.
And for me, sometimes when you get these thoughts in your mind you just can't get rid of, sit down in front of a typewriter, type them out. You can then release them from your mind onto the paper. You know they're there. Stash them away. Clear your mind. Carry on.
Yep. Very good.
That's why
very
I was
good.
so attracted to them. And when the pandemic started, that's originally why I got into typewriters, was to type on something rather than a computer.
Yeah.
I was glued to all day for work.
Yep. Very cool.
One typewriter thing I was considering was I wonder if nowadays if you type up either a short story or like a novel and you want to send it to like a publishing house, if they would say, yeah, okay, we can work with this. And like, yeah, we'll just take your manuscript and like move it to a computer or something like that. And then, you know, or if they'll say, you know, sorry, I don't know if we can do it like this. I assume so, because I think writers probably, if they're typing up a manuscript or something, they probably will type it in a computer and then print it and then send it, unless they send it electronically. But I don't know. I don't really know a writer that's like published or just try to do that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
assume
you know,
so, but
yeah, the optical character recognition is pretty powerful, but there's still issues. You know, you'll have issues with formatting, especially. But as far as getting the text into digital format, that part is easy enough. But again, the formatting, and I think the average publisher probably wouldn't want to do that themselves. um, yeah, so they'd probably ask the author to do it, I would imagine. Yeah.
I guess there's like advantages to doing it electronically too. If they would say like, oh, can you maybe like reformat this like chapter or something like that, it's probably a pain to like have to go in and like try and type it again and like finish it in with your typewritten thing. But I guess if you, I don't know, I guess there's pros and cons to it. I'm sure
Yeah.
I would feel comfortable like writing a novel or something on a typewriter, but you know, pros and cons.
Yeah.
You should probably not send in your first draft as your submission, though.
Yeah, touche.
I mean,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
typing, that's usually a first draft.
Yeah.
A lot of writers type their first draft and then, then input it into the computer for the second draft as kind of a way of forcing them to write a second draft.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know our own Anthony in Ireland on YouTube. He's Mythical Ireland. I know he does some of his like brainstorming and maybe some of his first draft on the typewriter, but you know, ultimately it does have to go into the computer. But yeah, that would definitely be a major thing, is you're going to do a lot of first draft writing on the typewriter, and I think it really lends itself to that, because it encourages you to keep moving forward as opposed to typing on a computer where, you know, if you're like me, I'm I'm like constantly going back and editing, and rather than just moving forward. So yeah. So that's a great point, Ted. Yeah. Excellent. Well, it is so good to meet you, Andrew.
Oh, thank you, Gregory. Yeah. I know I'm just coming in on like the end of the meeting here, because I was just scrolling through YouTube and I'm like, oh, they're live right now. Maybe I'll hop on to meet everyone, because I caught some of the other live streams and wanted to watch them back. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
Glad you did.
Well, you're one of us now, so
Yep.
yeah, very cool. All right. So let's see. Arthur, how are you doing? He's busy doing something, but I'm
Hey, actually, I was trying to figure out which typewriter to put on the typewriter database next.
If Ted was there, he'd be snapping his fingers or giving the thumbs up. He likes to do that.
Yeah,
So I'll do that for him.
I got actually last week when we were kind of doing the freestyle session, I mentioned that I'd gotten a Sears Forecast 12, and that finally got here, and it's got it's weird because it's got that wonky top that you sort of flip forwards and then backwards, and it kind of lifts weird. I guess they had Sears had Smith Corona kind of do a weird mod on that. Not sure why they did. The cool thing is that it actually still had the changeable type inside of it. They come with and most of the ones I've seen on the database have a tiny little box of 4 additional slugs you can swap out with mathematical symbols. So you can swap those out on the top left and right key.
Yeah.
Or you can put in the 1 and the exclamation point, and then there's greater than, less than. I think there's an infinity symbol.
Ooh, that'd be a cool one.
and like a few other ones in there.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
They have instructions on the bottom. Actually, I'm surprised because it's this giant sticker on the bottom of the typewriter that has instructions
Oh wow.
for for swapping those out. And so I guess it was a great idea, sans manual, because they never. The only thing about it is it's really hard to pin down the year because the database sort of has approximations. And apparently these were early 60s through 70, and that was it. They didn't, according to the Sears catalog. But the typewriters and writing. For some reason, typewriters run just at the right pace for me to write stream of consciousness stuff or just first draft stuff. And actually, what it was handy for the other weekend, sometimes I have like really vivid, specific dreams, so I like jotting those down, and it was the perfect thing to. I did about 3 pages of talking to aliens discussing nature or nurture in humans. So, but for some reason it's handwriting. You get into it and then you can't read it when you go back to it
Yep.
sometimes. And then there's something about the I mean I had I've had a computer since the 80s, but there's something about writing on a computer it works for technical stuff, it works for editing, but for creative, any sort of first draft stuff doesn't really work that well
Yeah.
for me. So, but yeah. So there's that. I used that. I find the ultra portables. I got a little
Oh.
a Royal Light and a Skywriter that you can just rip the case off and put it anywhere and start
Yeah.
typing. So those are I'll get out the Galaxies or the Olympia, but yeah, those ultra portables are really when you just got to get it down on paper, and especially if you don't have room to leave a larger machine out. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we're on day 140 something of the Writers Guild strike.
Yeah.
There may be a bargaining session this coming week, but we're not sure. They usually don't go that well. They basically say, we're willing to kick you down these crumbs. Do you want them or not? So hopefully this time they've kind of read up on how to actually bargain with unions, and and they'll actually sit down and go through things. You mentioned the ball game in the background.
Yeah.
So it was an unwritten, unspecified policy, and I'm sure it was in other cities of the LAPD, that when people were filming them, what they used to like to do is they'd take their cell phone out of their pocket, and they would have like whatever the most popular song is, and they would try to blast that into the YouTube stream of whoever was videotaping them to gummy up the works.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because dealing with having been around filming and photography and that sort of thing, incidental copyrighted material is not a copyright offense. If you're walking down the street filming a documentary and you pass by somebody's store and they're playing Michael Jackson or whatever, and you do an interview with somebody and it's in the background, that's not something you have to clear or get permission for. However, YouTube always errs on the side of whatever corporation has the most money. So and then it's
Exactly.
incumbent upon you to prove that
Yep.
you weren't trying to rip them off. So
Yeah. That's a
but,
good point.
yeah. I unfortunately, I always say no more, but I got my eye on a 58 Skywriter.
Ah,
I'm just waiting for it to get to the right price. I actually
yeah.
know the seller, and I got the Olympia SN4 from them. So and the machines they're selling are part of their collections. So they all, they're not the cheapest thing you can get in these models, but you know that they're coming to you working and having been serviced and used.
Yeah.
So they're kind of somebody in Washington, um, and they're kind of swapping things out as they're acquiring new ones or downsizing. So
Okay.
I've maybe, although then I'll have two Skywriters, and maybe I'll have to gift one of them. This is somebody. Christmas is coming up, right?
There you go.
So yeah. But other than that, just enjoying a little respite from the weather here. It's
I
been
know,
brutal.
right? Wow.
So
Very cool.
yeah, good to see everybody. Alive and
Yeah, good to
kicking.
see you
And,
too.
we need to. I was trying to come up with a good title for Joe there as the leader astray of. You keep hearing people. Oh, I tuned into his YouTube stream and
Yeah.
the great corrupter. All of a sudden, yeah. Actually, I've been watching Joe's. This is not a vlog series.
Those are
So
good.
some of them which go back quite a ways. So it's interesting to see that Joe's been doing it long enough to where his voice has changed a little bit. The beard's gotten a little grayer. I mean, it
That's
happens
funny.
to us all. We just haven't documented it for
That's right.
10 or 11 years or how long.
Exactly. And of course he's shared some footage of the old um independent films he used to make.
Yeah.
And he was quite young back then.
Yeah. Weren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head of hair and beard.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg look.
Yes, there you go. That's true. That's true.
You may have said it earlier, but what are you working on there, Joe? Are you just trying to clean that typewriter, or?
So this morning before this live stream started, I went over to a lady's house that she emailed me, and I picked up. She gave me her old typewriter was a Smith Corona Sterling, and this was her mom's. This is a Hermes Rocket, and yeah, so it was completely full of white correction tab, flaky stuff, and dirty. And now I'm just, putting the finishing touches on. Like for instance, the paper support arm was hitting the left margin guide when it was popping up. And so in my attempt to reform it, the keeper washer popped off, and I think I lost the E-clip somewhere. So, but I have a container of E-clips I'm going to have to use, and it doesn't look warped or bent. So anyways, yeah, I'm just tinkering with this. So Hermes Rocket from haven't crossed the serial number yet, but I think it's probably early 60s, early to mid 60s, maybe late 50s, but I think it's early 60s.
I hear you.
Anyways, yeah,
Nice.
cute little machine. And I had one of these a few years ago that I gave to the young kid out in your part of the neck of the woods there, Gregory, Javier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but this is
Yeah,
a little
and
newer.
yeah, Harupa Valley.
Yes, Hooper Valley. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah. So we're just playing around with a Hermes Rocket.
Very cool. So real quick, before we end, we do have Sarah Van Allen in the comments on YouTube.
Hey, Sarah.
She says we should call it Typewriter College Live because of everything that we learn here. I love that. Let's see. She says Woody Allen typed all his scripts on a typewriter. And I think there are some other famous people who currently use typewriters for their movie scripts and books. There's a method to scan it in. It's a hassle on the publisher's end, but it's doable. And
Really?
if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but oh, and of course her name is going to escape me now, but the very, very, very famous romance author,
Daniel Steele.
Yes, thank you.
I've read all his books. No, not really.
He's got SG9 or SG1.
Oh, okay, SG1. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, so she uses typewriters, which I thought that was awesome. So it gave me a whole new level of respect for her. So, well, I think we are going to end just a little bit early here, just because. And then Sarah Van Allen says the guy from Oppenheimer. I haven't seen that yet, and I'm bad with
Christopher
history.
Nolan.
But
Christopher Nolan.
oh, okay, excellent. Yeah.
I will just
Yes.
will just quickly interject here. I'm going to kind of blow the top of this one. The one feature I really don't like about typewriters is the keyboard layout. To me, it's so antiquated, so useless, but it has come to symbolize what's known as the QWERTY effect, which is obsolete technology has become so ingrained that nobody has bothered trying to change it except Auguste Dvorak in the late 30s. And if you've ever typed on the Dvorak keyboard, you'll see how useless this keyboard layout is. But it's built into the machines. Just got to live with it.
Yes.
So
excellent.
That's my piece.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
That's a pretty serious least favorite.
Yeah.
I know.
The keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, one more least favorite. Some of you might agree. Cursive, like it's a favorite, but it's my least chosen typeface because the regular stuff is easier to read. So I love having my cursive typewriters, of course, but it is my least favorite typeface.
Oh.
Well, all
I
typefaces.
love receiving letters in cursive.
Yeah. Oh, all typefaces are my favorite. That's one of the points in typewriter collecting, right? Is to get all the typefaces.
Yeah.
It seems like I reach for the cursive less often than the other ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
Not knocking the cursive. Still like it.
Excellent. Oh, I do want to remind everyone that today is the last day to register for the postcard exchange.
Oh, yeah.
You do have to be a member, which of course you can join for free at typepals.com. And once you're logged in, you go to events and you'll see the postcard exchange and you can sign up for that. So today is the last day to register for that. And within, the next few days, I will do the matchups. I do it by hand. So I'll do the matchups and send those out, and fun will be had by all.
Mm-hmm. As we struggle to wrangle postcards in our typewriters.
Yes.
It's so much fun.
Oh, that reminds me, one interesting thing. I'm going to be sort of launching it at the Type-In Arizona. I've made what I believe is a fairly typewriter friendly postcard. So I will be sharing those at the Type-In.
It's thinner and grippier. Nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna basically use everyone at the Type-In as guinea pigs for testing it and see how they work.
Great. And that's Saturday, coming up this Saturday.
And it will be live streamed.
Nice. Will we be able
YouTube,
to enter through here, this channel?
Yeah, we're not going to do Zoom, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because it'd be too much for me to try and monitor it.
Yeah,
because
you have to
literally
enjoy
I'm just gonna be holding the camera and just doing whatever,
it's like
interacting
when you go
with
to a famous place and then you spend this whole time just taking pictures and instead of taking in the experience. So just set up the camera, just leave it, and we'll just figure it out. as we watch.
Exactly.
Go have fun,
Yeah.
Gregory. Don't worry.
Oh
about it.
yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah.
I'm
All
sure we'll
right.
get all kinds of social media posts.
Oh
and
yeah.
videos
Oh
from
yeah.
a lot of different people. Yeah.
Yes.
So look forward to it. Well, you guys have fun. It's too far for me, but
I know.
we'll enjoy vicariously through you
Very
guys.
good. Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. It's been a blast. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful meeting some new people today.
Thank you.
And remember,
Gregory.
you're one of us now. So come
Yes.
on back. All right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, everybody. And we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
Okay, we'll
Bye.
be in
Happy
touch and God bless all.
typing.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Happy typing. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.